Welcome to the IPF World Classic and Equipped Masters Powerlifting Championships. We are live from St. John's, Newfoundland, Canada. We're already underway. We have Martin Smith from Australia on the platform right now for 70 kilos. It's his first, he's represented Australia many times in the Special Olympics, but this is his first non-Special Olympics competition, and he is on the board. So we've just moved into the Masters 1 competition. This is day 4. So we have the 59 kilo, 66 kilo and 74 kilo lifters in this session. And we're going to run as two groups, 59s and 66s lifting together, and then we'll move through to the 74s. My name is Joe Whiteley. It is my pleasure to be here in the commentary booth today with Tim Mercer. Tim, you are lifting tomorrow, so I'm really grateful you could spare the time to join us here today. How are you feeling for tomorrow?
Awesome. It's great to be here. My first international competition, so it's been a great experience already, and I'm excited to lift tomorrow.
Fantastic. Yeah. I'm excited to watch. So we have Anthony Echeverry from France for 142 kilos coming out next.
$66 kilo lifter here.
If you check out the graphic that's on your screen at the moment, there's a lot of useful information on there. You can see at the top left of the white bar in the middle, 66 kilo M1. So all the lifters in today and tomorrow are Masters 1, age 40 to 49, and he's in the 66 kilo class. We won't take any notice of the rankings so far because it's a rising bar, so everyone will be moving their rank to 1 as we go through the round. We'll take a look at that in the second round. Nice deep squat there, Tim.
Yeah, good looking squat. I was on the plane with Anthony coming into St. John's the other night.
Okay. Next out we have Wai Tan, USA, for 145 kilos. Now I know the Americans that are watching will not understand kilos, so I'll try and translate those as we go along. That's 320 pounds. I must admit I don't speak pounds, but I've got a handy little calculator right in front of me.
I speak pounds pretty well, so I can help with that. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I know most of the conversions.
So here we go, Wai Tan, 145. Big chest of air. Nice, easy looking squat there.
Yeah, smooth looking opener. He's in the competition and ready to add some weight to the bar.
Now he did get a red light from one of the side referees. We have 3 referees. 2 to 1 is good enough. And we also have the information on the lights there about what type of failure it was. And he got a red card failure. On squat, that is always for insufficient depth. The hip must pass below parallel. Parallel's not good enough. But a lot of lifters do sink into one hip or the other, so
True.
they can look high on one side.
Absolutely.
Masashi Ono, Japan, now for 155.
341 pounds here. Nice and smooth.
That was lovely. Yeah, very technically precise squat.
3 white lights.
Could really do with coming out to the back of the rack. It's not a failure, it's not a rule, but the spotting crew are expecting you to come out of the back, and you do end up tripping over people if you go out the front. Wataru Shimiyashiki next from Japan for 160. He's in the 59s.
.59 kilos is just about 130 pounds body weight, and that means the lifters have to weigh less than that. So this lifter weighed in at 57.8 kilos, just under 130 pounds. That one is close on depth. We'll see.
Yeah, it's a very conservative, very efficient squat, but like you said, I think it was borderline.
It was close, but good 2-1. There's no extra points for squatting deeper than you need to, so.
No, but it is a subjective call,
It is,
so
yeah.
you want to put it beyond the referee's choice.
Ideally, yeah.
Serge Gauthier, Canada, for 170. He's the last lifter out in the 59s.
Loaded, 170 kilos, Serge Gauthier, Canada.
He's sent out there by Garrett Bentley, who's been working hard this week.
He has. He's been out there every session and back in the back loading bars all day long. The home team Canada here seems to be having a heck of a week so far too.
They really are. I think they won the M3 women.
Did they?
They're second in the M2 women.
I was able to be on the mic yesterday for the men's session, and lots of strong Canadian lifters there and some gold medals, bunch of gold medals.
Really hard to tell depth from that angle. That camera is looking down on the lifter, so
Looked good to my eye, comfortably good, and got 3 white lights there.
and of course that's what you want your opener to be. You want it to be nice and easy. It's where you end up, not where you begin.
That's right.
Still a few more lifts to go for openers in this flight. The next 4 lifters will be in the 66 kilo class. And here's Masaya Morimuni from Japan for 185. Quite a big Japanese team here as well this week.
Yeah, solid representation from across the pond. I can only imagine. My travel to get here was pretty rough. I can only imagine what theirs was like.
Yeah, I've been the Australians and Kiwis are always saying it's a plus 30 hours to travel here, and I think we've seen a couple of situations where the lifter hasn't appreciated quite how much the travel's taken out of them.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
But lifters failing lifts and looking really confused at the bar, going, "Well, that should be easy."
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it really does affect you.
I think it pretty dramatically affects your water cut too. Traveling that way, if you're cutting weight, it really complicates the matter.
So that was a beautiful squat for Morimuni.
Very nice speed and depth was no doubt. So it's very comfortable opener. These next 3 lifters look like their prognosis for total at the end of the meet is all within 2.5 kilos. So this should be
kind of a real fight on our
very
hands
interesting
here.
battle. Any missed lift could be a missed opportunity that affects the end.
Israel Torres, Mexico now for 192.5. Looking a little bit nervous. It's his first international. First international squat is a nervous beast.
I got that coming tomorrow. About 24 hours.
Now that looks tough, but I think he just dive bombed it a bit, maybe lost a bit of tightness at the bottom.
Depth was solid, and he got the lift in, so hopefully its second attempt is a little bit faster. Get the nerves out of the way and get
maybe
a
he
squat in.
recalibrates his plan at this point and thinks maybe take a smaller step to his second, just get a bit more confidence.
And speaking to that bit about travel and how that affects you when you get on the platform, it could have been some of that going on there.
So Jean-Sébastien Réaume from Canada now, JS, for 205.
205 is 451 American pounds.
Probably Canadian pounds too.
They're Canadian pounds, yeah. We like to say freedom units or American units, but he's good and fired up. A very interesting squat.
Yeah, he's that looked like an equipped squat to me, and he does lift equipped. He's lifted in the equipped masters before, so that's a really careful, controlled descent, and then just drop into the hole.
That last 2 inches, yeah.
Next out, we have Eric Oishi from Brazil for 205. He competed at the World Games in July.
Wow.
So we do see him. In fact, I don't think we've seen him at an international classic before.
Oh, that's right. Only on the equipped side. Huh? Well, that's cool that he's here for his first Classic Worlds.
And the caliber of lifters we have this week that also, make the podium in the open category. We have Lane Norton here this week, Kimberly Wolford, Ellis McLean, Eric Oishi, Cecilia Tavares as well. She was at the World Games.
Dave Ricks isn't very far off from making a podium.
The legend that
in
is
the
David
open.
Ricks.
And he's an M3 lifter now, so.
Took M2 records yesterday, though.
Some folks are just ageless, seems like.
So here's Eric for 205. A little bit of work to do to bring that up, but never in any doubt.
2 to 1. Good lift for Oishi.
Now I see the centre referee is on his feet and just having a bit of a chat. I'm not quite sure what the issue is. But I think we're all good, and we are round to the second round of squats now with Martin Smith.
Bar is loaded. 75 kilos. Martin Smith.
75 kilos, 165 pounds for Martin.
Look good from here.
Yeah,
He
looks
looks
solid.
a little bit nervous just getting it right to depth, but as soon as he set the bar coming upwards, it just shot to lockout.
Yeah, it looked comfortably in on depth as well. I don't think there was a doubt there. So
I think he's probably got another 5 there easily.
I think so. Yeah.
Anthony Echeverry from France is out next for 150. He's taken a 7.5 kilo jump. These are the lightweight lifters, so the jump as a proportion of body weight is something to consider.
Yeah, 7.5 kilos when you're squatting around 150 is a decent sized jump. So I saw Anthony brought with him a couple of skateboards here to
Really?
to St. John's. So I hope he was saving the skateboarding for after competition.
I hope so. It's quite steep around here.
It's quite steep. Yeah, I hate to travel across the world and sprain your wrist right falling off a skateboard before you compete.
He looks a little bit uneven there with the way the bar's on his back. He's got one arm
Settled in, yeah.
seems further out than the other.
Comfortable depth.
Quite a difficult second squat there. More like a third.
Yeah, I was never in doubt, but it was definitely work. I don't know. I mean, I would think there's 5 kilos left there, but
Some people can grind.
some people are just a little slower, yeah, all the time.
I can make my second squat look like an absolute max, then put 10 kilos on it and do it again.
That's the way my wife is. Her squats will look slow from the beginning to the end, but it just keeps going, so.
It's a good skill to have.
Yeah.
Here's Wai Tan, USA, for 155.
£341. I believe this might be YU's second international. I think he did NAPFs earlier this year, and that was his first international. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe this is his first international competition. Very low bar position there. Looks like it's just in on depth. 3 white lights. Good lift.
Good lift. No, you're right. He did do North Americans.
He did. Okay.
Yeah. He won his class there.
This is a different beast, though, I think, coming here to a world competition versus a regional competition.
It is, but he's been lifting for a very long time by the look of it.
165 kilos, Masashi Ono, Japan.
So Masashi Ono, Japan, now for 165.
It looks like Anthony from France took another set, just 2.5 kilos.
I think that's wise.
Yeah. It's very good to go 3 for 3 in the squat.
That looks like a nice lift for Ono.
Looks great. Yeah, his opener was very speedy and smooth, and this one was as well.
Now he got a blue card from one side. There was certainly no downward movement of the bar, so that must have been for lockout. Maybe soft knees on completion.
Yeah. Hard to tell on the replay, but
2-1 is good enough.
Yep.
And we have Wataru Shimiyashiki from Japan now for 170.
Just waking up here in St. John's. It sure has been beautiful while we've been here. Man, I'm just blown away by how beautiful this place is, and
such
the weather
a friendly town as well.
It's very friendly.
Everyone says hello walking down the street.
Everybody asks
lovely.
you questions about who you are, and yeah, very friendly. Another extreme low bar position.
Yeah, he's
very close on depth, so we'll see what the judges say on that. 2-1.
2-1 in a bad way. That is no lift.
That's the kind of lift where you left it in the judges' hands because you were close.
At the Arnold a couple of weeks ago, we had a lifter with an extreme low bar position like that.
Yeah.
And he was a little bit bent over, so he wasn't getting the start command. They asked him to go upright, and it just sprang off his back. I've
seen that happen before.
200 odd
Super
kilos.
scary.
Yeah, it really was. No one was hurt, which was brilliant, but it was a scary thing.
I saw that in person with a 400 or something around a 400 kilo squat.
Wow.
It was very scary.
So here's Serge Gautier. Here's Serge Gautier, Canada, for 177.5.
So it looks like Serge is forecast at, or prognosis is a 470 kilo total, and the Japanese lifter is forecast at 472.5. So they're going to be setting up for a little battle.
Sure.
Solid second there for Serge.
Yeah, that was a great second lift. Long way to go in the competition yet, but we have Gautier leading in the 59s. We have Gautier leading from Shimiyashiki from Smith. Those positions, yeah, I think those are going to be the medal positions on squat. I don't think those are going to change now. In the 66s, we've got another few lifts to complete the second round, and then we'll take a look at how those rankings are shaking out.
195 kilos on the bar for Torres from Mexico.
As you say, he's only gone up 2.5. His opener did look tough.
Yeah, we were wondering if it was the travel or just some tentativeness, nerves from first international competition. Oh.
Do you know, he's really fought for that, but it wasn't quite there. Yeah, I think it's taken him by surprise. I haven't seen him around this week. Maybe he's only just arrived, hasn't realised how much the travel's taken out of him. And this is why it's really important to listen to your coach and tweak those openers. You may think you can squat X all day long, but this is a different situation.
Yeah. Lifters have till 3 minutes before the flight begins to change an opener, and sometimes that's, you get in the warm-up room on contest day and you need to acknowledge the fact and be honest about the fact that things are a little heavy today, and
absolutely, it's not about what you can do on your best day, it's about what you can do today.
You only have this one moment.
Masaya Morimuni, Japan, for 197.5. This is quite a chunky increase, 12.5 kilos.
Yeah.
A 66 kilo body weight. That's
As
nearly a quarter of his body weight, isn't it? That he's increased by. But that's a beautiful looking squat.
Very smooth and comfortable.
Almost a weightlifting squat.
It is very upright posture. Yeah.
Yeah, very quad dominant. High
knees
bar.
forward, tall chest. Yeah, high bar position. Yeah. But still very comfortable. Looks like he could take another 7.5 or 10 and probably be fine.
Next out we have JS Reum from Canada for 210. So only got up 5.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember what the opener looked like in terms of speed.
Yeah, some lifters do like to take big jumps, and others like to take smaller jumps. It depends how you train and just what suits you. There's no one right way to powerlift.
Very true. 210 kilos.
I like a big jump so that I don't have to do as many reps.
Yeah, right. Less work. I'm sure it's less work overall, right? Again, that very slow approaching the hole and try to get that last little bit. And 2-1, I think. Good lift, yeah.
Yeah, he got a red card again from just one side referee. So it may just be he's sinking into one hip more than the other. I wouldn't have liked to have called depth from that front angle at all. Because the lifters with long femurs sit such a long way back, sometimes you can't tell whether their body is still sinking through or the hips are dropping.
It's true, yeah.
Eric Oishi next for 215. This will move him back ahead of Raume for first place in the squat.
And keeping pace for that overall total battle
These
that
two
they're
are
going to be in.
nip and tuck all the way down. They're opening on the same bench and within 2.5 kilos on dead as well.
So one missed lift along the way could well make the difference between gold and silver.
A nice confident pop out of the racks.
Oh God.
That was
okay. I've had that happen before, and it's very scary. But hopefully the bar didn't hit him on the way by. All the spotter loaders are safe and okay, but
that's a really difficult thing for the spotting crew to catch because the bar
impossible.
goes it
fast.
moves so fast and it's going forward. It's a really difficult thing. We're just going to take a moment to make sure that Eric's okay. Give him the time he needs to recover, and hopefully he's not injured. So he's just leaving the platform now. We're going to reset for the next lifter.
This is definitely one of the downsides of squatting in the combo rack instead of how some powerlifting federations use a mono lift with safety straps. The bar's on the floor now, so we got to unload it and put it back in the rack and reload it again.
So that is the second round of squats. I have to be honest, I can't see Eric coming back out again to squat again. So
he's officially passed on his third now.
Yeah. So the standings as we have them at the end of the second round are J.S. Raume from Canada in gold medal position on squats with Eric Oishi in silver, and Murray Mooney from Japan is holding the third place squat. In fact, he's guaranteed the squat bronze. No one can come past. We have all our attempts on the board, and you can't change your attempt on squat and bench. You get 2 changes on your deadlift, so you can play a bit of a strategic game on the deadlift. But once your attempts are in on squat, that's what you're taking.
That was fast. Spotter loader crew did an excellent job getting that thing reset nice and quick, and we got Martin's third squat.
Yeah, he looks fired up. He looks ready for it.
We got some people standing and cheering. Again, a long-time Special Olympics lifter lifting in his first non-Special Olympics championship.
Yeah, that's a great third for Martin Smith.
3 for 3 on the squat for Martin.
He'll be happy with that.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want to start your day with a 3 for 3 and get going into the other 2 lifts. I always think that a missed squat, aside from just losing some kilos off of your total, the amount of fight that you put into that missed squat.
Yeah, it's exhausting to fail a squat.
It really does come back and hurt you later in the day.
Next out we have Anthony Echeverry from France for 152.5. Taking a very small increase for his third.
Yeah, his opener was a little slow, and then the second attempt was just about the same. Not really much slower, but still slow. So we'll see. I would expect this should move fine for him, but again, not knowing the lifter, it's hard to say.
Always better to take the kilos that are there rather than risk leaving some behind.
Yep. As we were just talking about, a missed squat attempt really does compile at the end of the day. So better to leave a few kilos on the table than to miss an attempt and have a big fight. Let's go, Anthony.
Oh, I thought that was going. Just ground to a halt. Couldn't get it moving.
High, that high sticking point up there just got stuck. Hips got back a little bit and couldn't finish it.
He left nothing behind there. He got 150, missed 152, so he got every kilo he's capable of on the day. And here's Wyu Tan from USA for 160.
160 kilos, Wyu Tan, USA.
$10-kilo jump from first to second, and now just took 5 here to the third. Lifters have 1 minute from the time the head referee says the bar is loaded, and that's the clock counting down there on your screen. If you're waiting for and ready when the when the bar is loaded, it's the 1 minute is usually not an issue.
Unless you have to replace the bar. That was no lift for Wyu Tan. That just looked a little bit heavy. Not quite going there. Yeah, and you do see lifters that have this huge setup and they take loads of time at the bar to get themselves fired up, and then they walk it out and they're asked to replace the bar for whatever reason, and they've got 10 seconds left. Yeah. Masashi Ono from Japan now for 170.
Again, a 10-kilo jump from first to second, now just taking 5. But again, I think both of Ono's first 2 squats were pretty smooth. See what this looks like. Depth is there. Very comfortable.
I was watching the front view, so I couldn't really tell on depth there, but he's on the board. He's 3 for 3. And we have Wataru Miyashiki next. He missed 170. He's gone up to 172.5.
Very interesting.
He must think that he needs those kilos to stay in touch in the overall competition.
I can't remember what was the miss on depth. I can't remember for sure. Sometimes lifters think
I think it must have been. It was 2-1 on depth, I think.
Yeah. Sometimes lifters think if I add a little more weight, it'll help me get a little deeper. I don't ever like that strategy.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't help you get back up though, does it?
It doesn't.
I mean, that's a strategy that might work in equipment.
Maybe, yeah. That's a solid looking squat. We'll see if depth is there. It's very
that
close.
Looks okay to me.
3 white lights.
Worked out for him.
It's
a risky move.
Yep, it's very risky, but it still got that 172.5, which is probably fairly close to where the planned best day was going to be. So
I mean, I've done it myself. I've missed a lift and gone up because it was either go up to stay in the stay competitive or go home.
Yeah.
But it's a nervous and risky thing to do.
Is.
Gautier next for 182.5. 5-kilo increase. He's leading the way in the 59s. Already guaranteed the squat gold, but now he's just building his total towards the overall prize.
And again, he's looking like gonna be in a fight to the very end there with the Japanese lifter. So, would really like to add these 5 kilos to his total.
Just over 400 pounds.
That looks good to me. What do the judges say? Awesome. 3 white lights.
There's your Gautier for 3 for 3. Gold medal in squat. And also you carry some momentum through the competition.
Yeah.
You're in the lead, you're feeling good, everything's going well.
I think it's hard to overstate how important that is for a competition, at least in my book.
It's at least 20% mental game. You have to have the strength, but you also have to have the belief.
Yeah, you can really mess with yourself.
Israel Torres now from Mexico for a second attempt to 195. Now he's just not looked in great shape today.
Yeah, whether it's travel or nerves or whatever.
Something's taken him a little bit by surprise today.
Second, he couldn't stand up with, so we'll see if he can move this one all the way.
He's a fighter though, he's got real heart.
There was a couple times there where I thought he was dead and he kept fighting for it. So we'll see how much that impacts him later in the day. A couple of real hard fights on squats that he didn't win.
Sometimes it's, it's easy to be wise after the event, but sometimes it's beneficial to say, you know what, I'm not going to get my third squat, I'm just going to go straight warm at my bench, take a bit of a longer rest, and get on with my day. Here's Masayo Morimoni from Japan for 202.5.
So looks like he's already secured the silver medal squat here.
Bronze, I think.
Oh, bronze?
Yeah, Oishi has a silver.
Oh, see it. Okay. Getting that very upright high bar position.
Now the problem with that quad dominant squat is that when you run out of up, you run out very quickly.
Yeah, it's that real high sticking point, very far up the lift.
And I think it doesn't give you much grind. If you've got a more of a back dominant squat, you can grind that out. In the quad dominant squats, you just run out of up, and that's all she wrote.
It's kind of like the difference between a conventional deadlift and a sumo deadlift. You can grind a conventional all day long, even getting out of position, but sumo, you got to be in the position.
So this is JS Reum from Canada. He is guaranteed the squat gold, and he is leading the competition. Looking for another 5 kilos because we're not sure if Eric Oishi is going to come out again for bench. Hopefully he is doing okay in the back. We'll get an update on that in the break. But here's JS with 215. Really hard to tell depth with how far he sat back there.
Very close. And it's
2
good.
to 1,
wow.
A good lift. He is happy with that.
That puts him in the driver's seat for total at the end of the day.
Yeah, it really does. So we move into the second flight now, and we have the 74 kilo lifters. 7 lifters in this flight. And we have Gonzalo Nunez Boya for leading us out for 90 kilos. First international.
90 kilos, Gonzalo Nunez, Peru.
Looks like we have 7 74s in this flight. Very speedy opener.
Yeah, easy. I think he's just put an easy one on there to get one in.
Again, traveling all the way from Peru, I think that's probably a pretty solid strategy. Make sure you get one on the board.
Yeah. Next out we have Piotr Radyszewski from Canada for 172.5. Again, a lifter doing their first international. It's always a great opportunity when the IPF come to your home nation to for the people that wouldn't normally travel to get to do an international competition.
Yeah, really cool. Canada is well represented here. It's every flight seems to have at least one Canadian lifter,
And it's a fair point, to be honest. Some of the Canadians have travelled as far as the international lifters. It's
yeah.
a big place.
I'm not that far from the west coast of Canada, and I was 3,000 miles, over 3,000 miles getting here, 14 hours of travel. So somebody coming from BC in Canada made it quite a healthy
Gone a
trip.
long way, yeah. That was a great opening lift for Radishevsky. Not super easy, it didn't move super quick, but it was certainly strong and solid.
Comfortable, yeah.
Corey Grandy now for 175. 3 red plates on the bar.
It's about 385 pounds.
Very controlled descent, good depth.
Speed was great. I loved that squat. 2 to 1, good lift. One side judge thought depth was not there. Again, his squat's a little asymmetrical. Everybody's is, and so one hip can look a little higher than the other, or actually be a little higher than the other.
So here is Malcolm Long from Great Britain. He's the current European champion, took the silver at Worlds last year. See what he can do this year.
You have any dirt on Malcolm that you can share?
I don't.
Any
He's
good
clean as a
backstory?
whistle.
Doggone. Thought we were going to have some breaking news here for the tabloids, powerlifting tabloids.
He squatted 207 at the Euros this year, so this should look comfortable.
Yeah, that's how I like an opener to look right there.
Beautiful squat there from Malcolm Long.
That looks nice. Big smile as he comes off the platform. Looking confident and comfortable. I like that.
Next out we have his teammate, David White. David came second to Malcolm at the Euros. So I wonder if there's a little bit of team rivalry there.
I like it.
Dave has the bigger squat, but Malcolm has the bigger bench. And this is how the powerlifting game goes around.
Yeah.
If you've got one big lift, you'll find that eroded as we go through the competition.
That's why there's 3 different disciplines, right?
That's a great squat for Dave White.
Looks good. Good speed there. I'm going to be able to add a nice fair jump to his second.
So this is Michael Haranow next for 227.5, USA lifter.
I don't actually know Mike. Is this his first international competition?
I think it's certainly his first IPF competition.
Yeah. We had quite a few lifters do NAPFs and then.
Yeah,
this
he's
meet.
not done an APF. He's
Okay.
come straight from nationals.
Yeah.
Did his first nationals this year. So he's brand new on the international circuit.
Wow. I don't know his story.
Well, his story is he's got a great squat.
Looks awesome. Yeah. Gonna be able to add a fair bit from that.
Yeah.
Nice and comfortable. Good way to get in the competition. And that was 500 pounds, our first 500-pound squat of the day.
But not our last, because here
Not our
comes
last.
Andre Garcia from Brazil for 230. Now, we haven't seen him at a World Championship since Calgary. He must like travelling to Canada.
It's just straight north for him, huh? Doesn't have to go across the Atlantic or the Pacific.
His PB is listed at 245. Let's see what he's got today.
So that would be 2 7.5 kilo jumps away from here. Got the Brazilian colorway in the SBD sleeves there.
Slow and steady.
Yeah, very comfortable. Never looked in doubt. 3 white lights.
And he leads the way in the 74s.
507 pounds in the books.
So as we go into the second round, we have Garcia leading from Haran from white. But we have a long way to go in this competition yet. So leading us out in the second round is Gonzalo Nunez Boya from Peru. 100 kilos on the bar.
100 kilos, Nunez, Peru.
Now his opener was so easy, I thought he might take maybe a 20 kilo jump or even more. Ah, he's cut that.
That looks like it could well be high.
Yeah, I think he
No,
cut that. Oh.
looked okay.
So from the front angle we've got, there is nothing quite so deceptive as a camera angle.
It's totally true.
So
Yeah.
look, I was watching that not live, but on the monitor, and that looked high to me. But if 3 IPF referees tell you your depth is good, then your depth
It's
is
probably
good.
good. Yeah. Yeah, I too was watching on the monitor for that one. I have a pretty good angle here to be able to see the squat live, but I was looking at the monitor and it looked a little high to me on the monitor. So, but it was in.
Piotr Radziszewski for 177.5. Again, he's taking quite a conservative jump. His opener looked great.
I think our first sighting of the Converse. That's kind of old school powerlifting in my mind. I like it. Okay, nice and smooth. There's a few kilos left in there, I think.
Yeah, I think that's about right for a second attempt.
Yep.
Starting to have to put a bit of work in. Enough to step up to a max attempt for your third.
If they were looking to add 5 and 5, that looks like about right to me.
Corey Grandy now for 187.5. Graphics running just a tiny bit behind. So this is Corey Grandy.
7.5. Oh no, 12.5 kilo jump.
Yeah, that's
here,
a massive jump.
He moved that opener nicely, but again, if you don't watch the lifters every day, the individuals, some lifters are speedy squatters and some are grinders, and so.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. Some people, they either make it look super easy or they fail it, and there's no.
It's totally true. Yeah,
in between.
No in between. I'm kind of that way. It goes fast until it doesn't go at all.
Nice.
That looked like work.
But yeah, I think he's
3
got a
white
little bit
lights.
more than a
Yep.
5 in there, maybe
Agree.
even 7.
Agree.
I'm the other way. I make everything look like a max.
What's that?
I'm the other way. I make everything look like a
Oh,
max.
really? Yeah.
And just keep going.
Yeah, I can't grind anything. I don't know why I wasn't born with that gene. It goes fast until it doesn't go at all, especially on bench for me.
Malcolm Long next. He was made short work of 192.5. Gone up 10. Got Martin Bass of Bethnal Green Weightlifting Club in his corner there. One of the oldest weightlifting clubs in the world.
Wow.
Been around for many, many decades. Not Martin Bass, but the club.
They do Olympic lifting and powerlifting?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that looks like a seasoned international competitor right there. That's a good looking
absolutely.
squat.
And that's why he's European champion.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, looked very smooth, controlled, depth was perfect. Everything about that I like.
Next out is his compatriot, David White. And I wonder if David White's saying, come on there, Malcolm, you won the Euros, I'm having this one.
Little friendly competition.
The competition's what drives you, though. I think it's great. It doesn't have to get nasty, it doesn't have to get spiteful.
Yeah.
You can say to your best friend, I'm going to beat you on the platform tomorrow, and then have a beer about it afterwards.
That's right, yeah.
So here's Dave for 225. Not sure on depth on that
Depth
one.
was close, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
in.
it's
3
in.
white
Good
lights.
lift.
Speed was good. Looked a little out of control on the walkout. I was a little worried, but everything about the squat looked good. So it looks like there's plenty of room left there. They took 10 that time and should be able to get another 7 or 10 there.
Now here's another lifter that's taken a big jump. Michael Harron's gone from 227.5 to 240. I wonder if a lot of these lifters are just dialing their opener down a little bit, be sure of getting an easy one, build confidence.
I know for myself, coming to my first international competition, the thing that was keeping me up at night more than anything else was, is my squat going to work at an IPF meet, knowing that depth is probably judged harsher here than anywhere else.
More correctly.
More correctly. I like that. That's good. That's fair.
So here's Mike Harron for 240. Now he looked a little bit unlocked.
There was a little bit of a lock and unlock there with the knees that may well get him some red lights. Nope, it's okay. 3 white lights.
He did get, no, he had one red.
Oh, there was one? Oh, I see it, yeah.
One of the side refs gave him a yellow card. And I think that was that interpretation of 2 attempts because he unlocked, didn't really move it very far, but that can be interpreted as taking 2 attempts at the lift.
Hard to move that much with
In
the
fact,
knees without the bar going up and
sorry
down.
to interrupt you, I can see the jury on their feet. Hanny Smith, I think they're going to overturn that lift because of that double movement at the top. We have Andre Garcia on the platform at the minute for 242.5, but I've got my eye on Hanny Smith, the chair of the technical commission, who is talking to the table. So let's keep our eye.
They just overturned it.
They've overturned it. It's such a minor technical error. It's such a shame. So he'll have the chance now to take that again. But here's Andre Garcia for 242.
Oh, it's a
It's
fight.
a tough one.
Depth is very close. I think it's in, but we'll see what the judges say. 3 white lights.
That was a great fight for that squat.
There's not a lot left there, but
I wonder if he'll even come out for another.
So with Harron, that's the kind of squat that passes at a local meet all the time, right?
Yeah.
But at this level of competition, with this level of judging.
Well, we have 3 IPF referees, but we also have a 3-man jury. And if all 3 members of the jury agree, and the decision was 2-1, they can overturn it. The jury has the benefit also of the repeater monitor with the replay,
Right.
which the referees don't have.
I always say the faster you squat, the more likely it is that they just get that flash, and hopefully the tie goes to the lifter, you know.
So this is the 3rd round of squat now. We have Gonzalo Nunez from Peru for 110.
Looked comfortable in the first 2 and took another 10 kilos here. Oh, I think that might be high, yeah. Still, the bar moved very fast, but just not enough depth there.
And this is what happens when the lifter is a little bit nervous of the weight. So an unconscious drive to preserve yourself kicks in, and you don't quite go as deep.
Fair, yeah.
Leaves you with the best of 100 kilos. And here's Piotr Radziszewski, 185. Now, he's taken a bigger increase on his second than on his...
Interesting, yeah.
I wonder if this was about convincing the coach. You take your opener, it doesn't look quite how you think, your coach says, no, I'm only giving you 5 for the next one. You smoke the next one, you go, okay, you go.
I tell my lifters when they go out for their second, when I'm handling somebody, I say, you got to make this look fast, you got to bring your full effort here, or else I'm not giving you the big number on your 3rd, you know. Prove it, and that looks great.
That looked like the perfect number.
Excellent speed. Probably 2.5 kilos left in the tank there, but that's what you want to do. You want to go be 3 for 3 and not have a huge fight. So
well,
you
if you're at RP 10.5, then you're not leaving a lot for the rest of the competition. It's a long day. Corey Grandy now for 195. He likes the big jumps as well. He went 175, 187.5, 195.
Yeah, another thing about this international competition for that can catch lifters off guard, I think, is just the pace of the day. Most or a lot of local competitions, I don't think, are happening at the same pace. Everything is very refined here, and the meet runs very quickly and smoothly. And so when your session's done in 3 hours, it can be a little different pace than what lifters
even
are
just
used
a
to.
squat session, there's 7 lifters on the platform. The platform crew are moving at the speed of light, so you're getting about 7 minutes rest at most.
And you don't see that at local competitions all that often either. A good-looking fight on the third there.
Yeah, I think Garrett's doing a great job of picking these numbers. And 2
lift
to 1,
is
that's
good.
a good lift for Radishevsky.
Again, I think he got a red light from the right-hand side judge on all 3 lifts, but
I think he did. So I think that's what we've spoken about, just sinking into his right side a bit more, so it makes the left look high.
Just turn a little bit there, yeah.
So here's Malcolm Long just saying a little prayer before he comes out. 207.5 on the bar.
10 kilos from the first to the second, and then 5 now.
This matches his current best. This is what he did at the Euros.
202 looked just phenomenal to me, so I would think there's not. This is going to look great as well. Yeah.
Lovely.
Nice. Again, everything about that looks like a seasoned pro.
Now, his knees just wobbled a bit. Was that after he got the rack command?
Oh, I thought it was, but it,
he knew himself. He was looking at the centre ref. Yeah, it was before he got the rack command. That is a real shame. You could see he knew. The bar went up and down.
The coach is going to the jury, but it looks like the jury's not having it, so.
No.
Well,
sometimes, as a coach, sometimes would you go to the jury just to let your lifter know that you've got their back when you know that you're not getting that
overturned? For sure. Again, the jury has the replay, and things look different on replay at slow-mo, you know, so why not take a shot, right?
Sure. So this opens the door now for David White, who is coming out next for 232.5. He's sitting in bronze medal position, but this will get him past Mike Haran.
Yeah, one of the so it looks like White is the squatter of the two, and Long is the deadlifter of the two. So
yeah, Long's got the bench as well.
Oh yeah,
Dave's bench isn't great.
So trying to build his lead here.
But his squat
on
is
his buddy. Yep, it's good. It's good. He's fired up.
So that's put him now. He's guaranteed the bronze in squat, and he's sitting in silver medal position now, with Mike Haran waiting to come out to come back past.
So again, Haran had his lift overturned last time on a technicality. It moved fine. So I would think the 2.5 kilo jump that they took here should be still comfortable, hopefully. But if he misses, he falls all the way back to the 227.5 that he did on his opener.
He does, but if he gets it, he moves up to gold medal position on squat.
And you may only get one chance in your life to stand on the podium at an international meet, so you got to get after it, right?
Being careful now about his start position.
That looks good.
Yeah, I think he's moved into the lead.
242.5. Good lift, 2-1. Got a blue card from the right side judge.
For lockout, you have to return the bar to an upright position with your knees locked. Maybe the side referee didn't consider his knees to be locked. Nevertheless, that's a good lift, and he's done his job. He's got out in front, and now it's Andre Garcia's job to try to come back past with 247.5.
Bars loaded, 247.5 kilos, Garcia, Brazil.
Okay, our last squat of the morning session.
Gold medal on the line. Guaranteed the silver. And Dave White takes the bronze.
Got that extremely low bar position. Really tight upper body though.
He's using up a lot of his platform time. You can see the clock ticking down
It's
there.
getting low, yeah. Oh.
He paused that. I think he was just a bit too careful into the hole.
Yeah, I don't know the depth was there anyway, but
So that gives Garcia the silver medal and Haran takes the gold. We're going to take a 10-minute break now. Join us back for bench press. Welcome back to the IPF World Classic and Equipped Masters Powerlifting Championships. We are live from St. John's in Newfoundland. That little island off to the eastern seaboard on Canada.
Very east.
We are very, very close to the most eastern point in the whole of North America. And that's the last thing you'll see before you hit Ireland if you're crossing the Atlantic.
The easternmost city, I think they say, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
of any consequence. I keep saying we're almost to Greenland. It seems like we're way over there.
So these are, we have the M1 Classic men now, and in the first flight we have the 59 kilo class lifting shoulder to shoulder with the 66 kilo class, and this is Martin Smith, stalwart of the Special Olympics scene. He has joined us for the Masters World Championship for the first time this year. 60 kilos on the bar.
I have to say that singlet is spectacular.
It really is, isn't it?
I really like it.
So that was 2-1, a good lift. I'm not quite sure what the infraction was. I
think
didn't
he was
see
a
anything.
little quick on the rack there.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have 3 commands on the bench. You take the bar out and hold it at arm's length, and you get the start command. Take it all the way to your chest and keep it still on the chest to get the press command, and then return it to arm's length and wait for the rack command. Essentially, don't do anything until you're told on bench.
Yeah, definitely the lift that's most likely to where you see the lifter complete the lift but miss a lift on a technicality, because there's a lot that can go wrong here.
There are. You have to keep your feet flat on the floor, your butt, your shoulders and your head in contact with the bench. So it's YU Tan, USA, 495.
In his first IPF competition.
Yep, nice easy bench opener.
Speedy looking opener, yep.
Here comes Masashi Ono, Japan, for the same weight, 95. Went 3 for 3 on squat.
Lifters are very particular in the bench press about how they set up and how they get their start position there. Ono has his routine, it looks like.
You see a lot of very good technical benchers on the Japanese team.
They're known for their bench press, aren't they?
Nice.
Very comfortable, very smooth. He's got a long frame for a 66 kilo lifter.
Anthony Echeverry from France for 97.5. We don't have the biggest French team here this week.
Yeah, I've seen a few folks around, but
it's been 1 or 2 here and there, though. It's not the hugest team. Huge British team, a lot of Japanese lifters. Obviously, a huge amount of Canadians and Americans.
Saw some Iceland folks represented, which just a short hop for them. They got one of the shorter trips here, I think.
Well, it's difficult to St. John's because you can't fly directly to it. You have to fly all the way past it and then come back on yourself.
Yeah. Seems like the only flights into St. John's are from Montreal and Toronto.
Yeah. Oh, that's a tough one for an opener.
Yeah, don't want your opener to look like that. A little bit of a fight there. Quite a bit of fight. And you don't know, maybe lifter can get out of position a little bit and make it move a lot slower than normal.
I didn't spot any technical errors, but sometimes it's such a small error that it's just internal and you'll never see it.
Right. I think lifters usually call that a misgroove, right? you can't really see it. You just know that
it just didn't go well.
it moved a lot slower than it should have.
Wataru Shimiyashiki, Japan. 100 kilos on the bar. He's in the 59 kilo class, and he's light in fact, all the 59s are quite light. This is the lowest weight class we have in the men's competition. There's a 53 kilo class in the juniors, but not in the open.
Made quick work of that.
Yeah, great lift there from Shimioshiki. Next out is Serge Gautier from Canada. 107.5 on the bar.
Also in the 59 kilo category.
He took the gold in squat. And this is the biggest opener in his weight class too.
And again, these two are only 2.5 kilos apart on prognosis at the end of the day, so they're going to be kind of battling it out. Every 2.5 kilos matters.
His foot lifted. Now I wonder if anyone will have spotted that. Nope.
Nobody spotted it.
Yeah, I think his left foot from the angle I was at. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yep. You caught it. Nobody else did. Good eye.
But it's 3 white lights, so I don't think the jury can intervene even if they wanted to. Now look at this. This is Eric Oishi. He was carried off the platform on squat. He had an assessment out the back. It seemed to be something like an adductor strain.
Yeah.
I mean, the spirit of the man, he is out here benching.
And look, he even with his opening squat, he's still in it on prognosis. He's still in a battle for potentially winning gold.
Yeah, he took the squat silver.
Yeah.
With one lift.
So hard to say how if it is an adductor strain, how that might affect his deadlift. If he's a sumo deadlifter, it may well affect him quite a bit.
He looks in a lot of pain, doesn't he? Maybe he'll just take one. $115 on the bar, and he made short work of it. Hope someone's going to help him up.
He's definitely in some pain.
Yeah, he's not a happy man, but the spirit of the man to still be here and still in the competition.
Yeah, it's inspiring.
Next out, J.S. Leon from Canada for 117.5.
Looks like they're going to submit another attempt for him. He's going to add some weight to the bar. Keep going.
So here's JS for 117.5. I've got his current best here as 150. So this is a long way below that.
Huh. Wow. Well, that didn't look so comfortable that 150 is there today. So
now I'm looking through his history, and he has benched 130, 127. So I wonder if he's got an injury.
Could be, yeah.
Masaya Morimoni, Japan for 120.
264 pounds. And, we're closing in on the 2 times body weight bench press here, which is always one of those marks, high water marks for raw lifters. If you have a 2 times body weight bench press, it's pretty cool.
Sure, but the body weight multipliers do not scale up and down the weight classes. It's much more accessible for the lighter weight classes.
100%, yeah.
As a super heavyweight, I just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah. Even as a 105/120 lifter like myself, I don't have a 2 times body weight bench press. Never will.
So this is Morimoni from Japan for 120.
Wow, that's looked a little odd on the takedown, but moved just fine.
No points for style. That is a good lift. You're right, the bar path seemed to...
Very strange.
Yeah, it was. Maybe it was a little technical mistake that he managed to correct as he got it to his chest.
It was almost like he was, I don't know, is he an equipped lifter as well? It's almost like he was trying to take the bar path where he's loading a bench shirt, and then
Yeah,
and then moved into a different
I know
touch
exactly
point.
what you mean. I'm not familiar with the lifter. I don't think I've seen him at World Championships before.
Okay.
And here's Israel Torres from Mexico for 125.
Had some trouble on squats. The opener was
Yeah,
heavy, and
I wonder if
missed
he's
the
going to
next
have
two.
dialed his bench opener down
we'll
a little
see.
bit.
He's definitely still got a chance to be on the podium. He's got to make some lifts from here on out, though. That looked smooth.
Yeah, it didn't look super easy, but he's
Not
on the
super
board,
easy,
and that's what matters. And to be fair, he's leading the bench press competition.
Yeah.
Had a shocker on squat though. He looked quite confused as to why it was so hard today. Sometimes it just feels like someone's turned gravity up.
Yeah, I know that feeling for sure.
So here's Martin Smith. We are already into the second round of bench press, and Martin Smith is coming out for 65.
65 kilos, Martin Smith, Australia.
Took the bronze medal in squat.
Kind of jumped the rack command last time, so hopefully not this time. Oh,
No, not quite there today.
Sorry, that is no lift.
He's had a big journey from Australia, so
100 on the bar now. Anthony Missionelli.
maybe that's affected. A bench is the thing that suffers the first, isn't
It's,
it? When body weight loss or illness.
it's definitely more cantankerous, or the most cantankerous of the lifts.
Bars loaded.
Anthony Echeverry from France for 100 kilos now. It's a small increase. Only gone up 2.5.
Yeah, the opener was a little slow, as I remember. So
But he took some quite small jumps, I think.
on squat as well.
Yeah.
He's going to have to modify his setup for next year with the
A
rule
lot
changes.
of us will. I haven't yet tried to get into position in my shirt without putting my feet on the bench.
Oh yeah.
I don't intend to till after this competition.
Right. Don't mess with it now.
Yeah, that was the right call.
Yeah, that looks like about a max attempt there. I mean, there might be 2.5 kilos left, but
Well,
hard to
his
say.
listed PB is 102.5,
Okay.
but I'm not sure how much more he's got there. Even another 2.5 might be a lot.
Wayutan, USA.
Wayutan, 102.5.
This was the number from his nomination, is that right? So
It's the same as his listed PB. On his nomination, he had 102.5. The nomination isn't always the PB because it depends on when the nominations were submitted. But they're a good indicator, and that was a nice second attempt.
yeah, so he's matched his PB there on the second, and going to try to get a new PB. In America, we often call them PRs, but PB, PR, same thing.
Bars loaded. 102.5
So that's personal best against personal record.
Pretty nice to do one of those at an international competition. So
It's a tough thing to do.
Yeah.
It's hard to put down your best work when you've travelled around the world and you're staying away from home and the food's different and the environment's different and it's a very nervous environment. It's Masashi Ono, Japan for 102.5.
It's really hard to quantify all of those small little impacts to performance. I really like to snack on Rice Krispie treats during competition day, and I'm looking around in the stores here for Rice Krispie treats. I haven't found them yet, so I'm going to be snacking on something other than that tomorrow during competition.
You'll be fine. A little bit of work to do there.
Yeah, look a solid second lift. There's 2 kilos left, I bet, maybe 5.
Yeah, if he keeps tight, hits it hard. Get another 2.5 kilos out of that. And we have his teammate out next, Wataru Sumiyoshiki, for 105. I think we have our bench placings pretty much figured out in the 59s, and Sumiyoshiki is sitting in silver medal position.
$5-kilo jump here from the opener to the second. But the opener was nice and fast. Self handoff here. One of the few lifters that's doing that in this.
I think that's on the rise.
I
you see more
definitely
of it,
agree. Yeah. You didn't see any of it a few years ago. It seemed like in the last few years, it's definitely.
And that's a tough opener, second there for Sumiyoshiki.
I would guess they would put 2.5 kilos more on the bar for the third and see if it's there today.
Serge Gautier for 112.5 next. I've just noticed we have Canadian powerlifting royalty in the front row of the audience. Louis Noppers became world champion for the umpteenth time yesterday.
Wow.
And he's back to support his team. This is Gautier for 112.5.
Woke up early to shake off the celebration hangover and came down cheering on the teammates.
It was a great day in the M2s. Jeff Butt took the win, Tom Keane took the win, Louis Noppers took the win. Also, Scott Robertson was absolutely dominant, took the best lifter.
Lots of Canadian national anthem getting played.
Yeah.
3 white lights there on the second. That's a smooth second attempt.
J.S. Leon from Canada next for 120. He's only gone up 2.5. But he's in quite a tight battle, so now that Oishi's back in the competition, I mean, we don't know whether he's going to be at a deadlift.
Yeah. I think, again, if he's a sumo deadlifter,
I feel like he is. I can't quite nail it for sure, but I feel like he is.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him, but the prominence of sumo in these bodyweight categories,
and he's an equipped lifter too.
Yeah, both is much higher than the higher weight categories. If it's an adductor injury, that's going to affect his sumo a fair bit.
Absolutely.
I would think.
But he can still, even if he doesn't put up a total, he can still get the individual lift medals, so that's well worth it.
That was nice and smooth. There was a little bounce on the chest. Okay. Yeah. So he got the press command, but it definitely bounced on the chest.
Down. But up and down would be blue cards. He got yellow. I can see the Garrett Bentley is at the jury table.
Is the yellow for beating the press command?
It's really hard to hear the referee's command from here, so
yeah.
I couldn't see anything else. So if you can't see anything else, it's often the command.
Also 120 kilos here for the Brazilian lifter. Was pretty showing like a lot of pain last time out.
He really was, and he's really not in great shape.
Trying to battle it out here. Still, the prognosis is only 7.5 kilos off of the Canadian lifter. So,
I mean, he has the spirit of a champion.
Come on, come on!
Oh, what a shame. I think he should cut his losses now.
I hope so.
And if he can do anything for deadlift, maybe go for that. I've just taken a quick look at his Instagram, Coach Oishi Powerlifting, and yeah, he is a sumo puller.
Okay, so if it were me, I would be trying to figure out what can I pull today as a conventional puller.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wouldn't want to try to mess around with getting into a sumo stance with an adductor injury, assuming it's an adductor.
Assuming that's what it is. That was the information we were given. That's how it seemed. He was assessed in the back. We heard he'd gone to hospital, but then the next thing we knew, he was out benching. That's powerlifting.
He's a powerlifter, yeah.
So here's Israel Torres from Mexico for 127.5.
And he did not have a good squat session, but he's still in it for the overall here. So if he can add 2.5 kilos, again, the opener on bench was slower than you'd probably like. Only gone up 2.
It was, but he's still leading the way. I mean, I could see that the Japanese lifter in his class has put in a huge increase.
Look at that. That looked great.
Way better than his opener.
Look at it. maybe he's kind of shooken off the hangover of the travel, and he's ready to go now.
Relaxing into it now.
Yeah.
Bench is clearly his lift.
Well, that looked really good. So
however, look at this. Masaya Morimuni opened at 120. He's going to 132.5.
Wow.
That's a big increase. I've got his BB listed as 140. My first instinct there was is that a mistake? Did he mean 122.5? But no, he seems quite happy coming out for 132.5.
Well, I think it moved very nicely, but still a 12 kilo jump when we're talking about 120 kilos. We're talking about 10%, right?
And he weighed in at less than 65 kilos, so this is a proportion to his body weight. That's a
big
huge jump, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Maybe just a little too big.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a shame. Because he could have been really challenging for the gold medal on bench there. But that huge jump, whether he's capable of that lift or not, to go straight to it from 120 was a little bit ambitious, maybe.
Yeah, you wonder what happened there. Maybe they had that was the plan second, and they dropped the opener while warm-ups weren't going well or something, and they were trying to get back on plan. You never know what is going on there, but he'll have another shot at it. It didn't look like there's a lot of hope for it. All right, Martin.
So here's Martin Smith. He is fired up for his third bench attempt. He missed his second, just looked too heavy. But his first moved so well.
And again, bench is a weird lift, I feel like.
A lot of small muscles involved, so when they exhaust, they're gone.
Yeah, not there today.
Not there today. I know he'll be disappointed in that, but he takes the bench press bronze anyway.
Adding 60 kilos to his total there for the bench.
And now we have Anthony Echeverry from France for 102.5. It looks like taking small increases is his thing. He's not quite sure where he's going to end up, so I do this on row bench, to be honest. I've no idea what it's going to be on a given day. So I open relatively high and then just take a small increase where I'm going. I'm not very good at row bench though, so that's why.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has their own strategy, and I personally like different increments based on the lift. So I like to open really light on deadlift and take a big jump to a second, for instance, save a little energy and have a second that you can make, but it's going to be close to where you're at for the day, and it's your bellwether, if you will.
And that looks like a perfectly judged third attempt.
So 3 for 3. One of the arguments I've heard is if you open lighter and you take a little big jumps, your overall volume for the day is less. So right, so maybe by the time you get to the end of the competition, you're a little bit less fatigued. How much that actually impacts performance?
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
And it depends how you train as well. On bench, I do a lot of short-timed singles on close to max.
Yeah.
Just because that's how I like to compete on raw bench, just to make sure I squeeze out every kilo.
I mean, the reality is the volume on contest day is typically far less than what you would ever do in a workout. So does that really actually impact overall performance? I'm not sure, but.
So we have Wayu Tan on the platform right now for 105.
231 pounds. Trying a personal best here.
Yeah, and he's got it, I think.
Looked great, yeah.
It seemed to sink more than his first two.
Definitely, yeah.
But he got it up nonetheless.
Looked great. And gets that personal best, personal record at an international competition. That's pretty cool.
Next out, Masashi Ono, Japan for 105. He's having a great day. He's 5 for 5 right now.
Just looked very comfortable in every lift. I I've always been of the perspective that you just need to make lifts. It doesn't matter what you load up and miss, and just adding up those made lifts is what makes a great competition at the end of the day, and he's doing that for sure. Come on, come on.
There we go, 6 for 6.
Yeah, beautiful. Little uneven lockout, but still not really ever in doubt.
Yeah, it's right what you're saying. The Konstantin Musayev in Halmstad last year, he didn't win. He didn't win the squat. He didn't win the bench. He didn't win the deadlift. But he quietly put together a massive total and just shot past everybody. Wataru Shimiyashiki now from Japan for 107.5.
Again, in a battle with Gauthier from Canada for the 59 gold there, so adding 2 kilos here would have been really good, but
it would have been.
Not there today.
Nevertheless, he takes the bench press silver. Martin Smith of Australia took the bronze, which gives Gautier the gold, even before he comes out for this 115 bench press.
And same thing for him, adding these 2.5 kilos to his total. Everything matters. The difference now on prognosis is only 5, so this is big for him.
Bouncing on the chest again though.
Yes, definitely bouncing on the chest. We'll see what the lights say. 3 white lights. So the jury can't intervene even if they wanted to.
Yep, that's right. So that's a gold medal for Gautier and gives him 297.5 at subtotal, ahead of Shimiyashiki, who is on 277.5. So he's pulled out a 20 kilo lead there.
Yeah, but he has the smaller deadlift, so it's going to be a battle down to the last deadlift.
15 kilo difference on the openers, so that comes straight back on the openers, and that's why powerlifting is such a great game of 3 lifts.
That's right.
So it's J.S. Réaume from Canada for 120. Missed this last time.
Very nice control of the bar there.
Well, it's a moral victory. Is it a technical victory?
Yep, 3 white lights.
Absolutely is. 120 kilos for J.S. Réaume.
And again, we got that battle playing out in the 66s, so that was an important 2.5 kilos for him on
it absolutely was, and the lifters that are in the top 3 places in the 66s are all opening within 5 kilos of each other on deadlift too.
Yeah.
So here's Eric Oishi. It hurts to see him limping out on stage like this, but
yeah, I was rooting for him to not come out for this third and not waste
Heart of
any
a
energy
champion
on
though.
it. You can definitely tell he is not comfortable, but he is.
He may be thinking he's got to go so light on his deadlift.
Yeah, he
that he
needs
just
these
wants
2
the
kilos.
bench, but it's difficult to watch. We were saying in the interval, you don't actually see, for powerlifting being such a brutal sport, you don't see many injuries on the platform. You know, inevitably with hundreds of hours under our belt, we have seen a few, but it's relatively rare. And
the number of times I've seen somebody hauled off a platform, or I can count on one hand, less than. Been to a lot of meets, so. And usually when we do see injuries, there's something like this that is a muscle pull, as we understand it. You know, that's not fun, but it's not anything.
It's not career ending.
Yeah.
No. So this is Israel Torres. Struggled a bit on squat, but he's come into his own on bench, which is great to see. 132.5 on the bar. This is 2.5 kilos more than he's done in competition before.
He took the 2.5 kilo jump to the second attempt and just smoked it. So he's taken 5 here, and
And considering
that
that he
looks.
did have such a difficult time on squat, he's currently an overall second.
Yeah. Still got a great chance. Really
Yeah,
narrow
great
grip.
turnaround.
Almost like a close grip press.
Yeah, it really is.
It looks good. 3 white lights.
Yeah, fantastic. That's some great benching there. Now here is... No, he's got it. He's got the gold. Because we've got another lift to come, but Murray Mooney is heavier on body weight. So that was the gold medal for Torres from Mexico.
Way to come back after a rough round of squats.
Rayon from Canada took the bronze. Murray Mooney has the silver. This won't take him past. But this was a big jump, and it just wasn't quite there on his second.
Yeah, it didn't look very close. So we'll see, maybe tweak a little something with the setup, or get it a little different bar path, and maybe it moves nicely for him this time. Oh, look at that.
Well, I did not think he had a chance of that.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Sorry that he's still there.
Let's see the replay. I think his feet slid.
We're now into the B group. First weight
I didn't see anything.
I didn't either. So yellow cards, missed a command.
Maybe
I
so.
didn't. Just watching it live, I didn't think he missed a command, but
I cannot hear the centre referee, so I always think if I can't see anything else, it must have been commands. So that's a real shame.
It is odd though. It was both side refs, right? You would normally think if it was a command missed, it would
I thought it was
head judge. Was it a head and a side?
But
I can't remember either.
Not certain, and that's not something that's recorded on the score sheet.
Yeah.
It's just good or bad on the score sheet. It's not recorded how many white lights you get. So that's why at the end of the day, 2 white lights is the same as 3 in history.
Yeah. So he only gets credit for his opener, which is going to hurt him in a battle that's playing out there in the 66s. But we are on to the 74s.
Yeah, this is the second flight now, and David White, he had one of the bigger squats. In fact, he took the bronze medal, but he's first out for bench for 107.5, which means he's going to slide down the rankings a little. Looks like David is firmly on team squat.
Yeah.
Well, that's a nice opener.
Yeah, that looked great. And there's a red from the head judge for the yellow card. And he seems to be saying something about his feet.
Yeah, I wasn't watching the replay as well. I was watching the centre ref, so I didn't get to see that. But the referee explained to the lifter what the issue was, so I'm sure he'll correct that next time out.
And it was still a good lift.
Gonzalo Nunez for 110.
Feels like the energy in the room is just like picking up a little bit, which I don't know. Do you feel that, Joe?
Yeah, well, I think it was an early start, 9 a.m. Everyone's still having their breakfast. So the great thing about having most of the lifters staying in the meat hotel is everyone's here, and we've had packed crowds, which is brilliant. That is a great opener there for Nunez.
Yeah.
At some competitions where the venue is miles away from any of the accommodation, you find that lifters do not make that journey to support their teammates, especially if it's a difficult bus ride and there aren't too many transports. But when you're all right here, you get such brilliant energy.
Yeah. I was enjoying watching a bunch of the Norwegian folks. They had their little noisemakers, and they were cheering for everybody. They weren't just cheering for their teammates; they were cheering for everybody.
Specifically, they cheer a lot for the Nordic countries, but but yeah, they do cheer for everyone. This is Piotr Radyszewski, 115.
But with the venue being in the hotel, like I was able to come check out parts of sessions and then get out and do things that I was going to do, but you wouldn't get that if it was separate from the meat hotel.
That's right. Great opener there for Radyszewski.
Yeah, that's how you want an opener to look. Never a doubt, nice and smooth. You're in the game, and now you can go see what you got for the day.
Corey Grandy next, opening with 125. His current best is 132.5, so we're right up against it. Bench training must have been going well.
Would you say what was this PB?
132.5.
Okay, yeah.
But it's impossible. I almost want to know the region of these Canadian lifters. It's impossible to understand the journey they've had otherwise.
Yeah.
He might be from St. John's, might be from Vancouver. It's a big difference.
If you're not near an airport, right, you could have a bunch of ground travel just to get to an airport, and then a couple different connections once you got on a plane.
Oh dear. That was unexpected.
Okay.
I wonder if he just made a mistake and next time he's going to come out and smoke that. I hope so. Because if that's on strength, then he's in real trouble now because he cannot put that weight down.
You would imagine that if the warm-ups in the back room weren't going well, they would have dropped the opener. So maybe there was just some sort of misgroove, technical error that occurred, and he'll come back and get it.
Now here's Malcolm Long. He was in 4th place on squat, so 4th place coming into bench, but he's got a decent bench on him. This is 135 for his opener. Current best is 140, so he's feeling good.
Oh yeah. Maybe setting up to take his PB on the second attempt, if this goes well.
Self handoff.
Yeah, that looked nice.
Easy.
Good control of the bar. Nice smooth bar pass.
137.5 of the bar now, Michael Haran, USA, Garcia and White, get ready.
You can tell that he likes the bench press. He looks like he's very technically proficient. Just a professional looking bench press right there.
Bars loaded, 137.5 kilos, Michael Haran, USA.
So next out is Mike Haran for 135.
And this is just this is the first increment of kilos to get over the 300-pound mark. So 301 or 302 pounds.
He had a slight technical error on his squat, but he came back and took the squat gold anyway. Oh,
That
look
looks
at that.
nice,
That's
yeah.
lovely.
Good white light, good lift.
Now look at this.
Big old
Andre
jump.
Garcia, 162.5 for his opener. That gave me cause to look across to see what the world record was, and it's 179.
Oh, we could see a shot at it.
So let's see how this one moves.
Yeah.
And if he absolutely smokes it, we could see a world record attempt.
Yeah, you'd think he's gotta have to take a look at it on his third, and he's not gonna have an opportunity to take it on his second. But we'll see how this goes. Not often you see 30-kilo jump from the second to the last lifter to the last lifter in a bench flight. Oh.
Now, I mean, that was a great opener. That was a great bench. But I'm just trying to consider the distance now to the world record, and maybe that isn't as in reach as we might have thought.
I wouldn't think so, but again, not seeing the lifter every day, you don't know what whether they're a grinder or
so
not.
I think if he's going to take a run at it, we'd need to see him put 172 in for his second.
Something around there, yeah.
So this is quite a short flight. This is already the second round. So here are the standings for you. Garcia leading from Haran from White. And here comes David White for 115.
7.5 kilo jump. The opener moved really nice. A little problem with the blocks there. You get the blocks reset so he can fit his feet on there.
Your feet have to be flat on the floor, but you can ask that the platform be built up by 10 centimetre, 20 centimetre or 30 centimetre blocks.
A little uneven lockout, but the bar speed was great. I always think the blocks are a dicey situation because oftentimes they want to slide around on the carpet. They don't
do
stick
want to
very
slide,
well.
and also, I mean, he didn't have particularly short legs there, so the potential for butt lift is huge.
Yeah.
Piotr Radishevsky, 120.
$5-kilo jump from the opener. Fight.
That was a great battle, but
couldn't
quite get it to the top. That's the first lift he's missed though, which is not doing bad on his fifth. Yeah. Gonzalo Nunes from Peru is out next for 120.
That's the situation where you almost wonder about passing on the third. You know, a dogfight of a third attempt that you miss on bench press, and you maybe get a cramp in your back or your hamstring, and then
not worth
heading
5
into
kilos.
deadlifts, it might not be worth the 5 kilos.
Nunes, 120 on the bar. Slow and steady.
Yep. Under control the whole way. 3 legs.
So next out, Corey Grandi. Now we're hoping he just made a technical error on this because it just looked too heavy. And they do say there are, outside of injury, there are 3 reasons you might bomb in classic lifting: open too heavy, and open too heavy.
If you forget the first 2, the third is the same. Yeah. Wow.
That was a small technical error then.
Did his twin come out the first time?
He got a blue card from the centre referee. Blue card can either be for downward movement of the bar or for a lockout. So there's certainly no downward movement there. Not a great angle to see a lockout. But nevertheless, 2-1 is good enough. And he's on the board. We have all our 74 kilo lifters.
That's
still.
Good.
This is Malcolm Long for 140. Matches his current best.
And he's fighting it out with his mate there for the looks like the bronze medal position they're going to be in a battle for.
Yeah, the lead that Garcia has pulled out with that huge bench, phenomenal.
That looked nice.
Good lift there from Malcolm Long.
You could tell he's a seasoned lifter. He just looks so comfortable. So many lifters are looking, you know, a little bit nervous, a little bit out of sorts in this environment, and he just looks so 100% comfortable being here.
Here's Michael Harron for 142.5. This will move him up from bench bronze to bench silver. He's also in overall silver.
142.5 is roughly equivalent to the 3-plate bench press in the regular gym. 3 45-pound plates or 315 pounds. This is basically that.
A bit sticky at the top.
Yeah, look comfortable though. There's a couple kilos left there, I think there.
Now, Garcia has asked for 170.
Look at that.
So we'll see how this moves, but I think that he's taken a 7.5 kilo jump to 170. Probably means he's not going to want to take another 10 to the world record.
Yeah.
We'll see. We could be wrong. He might absolutely smoke this, and with little to lose, if he feels like he's a good way ahead,
It's
he
for
might have
sure.
cracked
Yeah.
it anyway.
It looks like he's got a big subtotal lead and opening heavier than everyone on deadlift. So there's really no risk to take a shot at the world record if he wants to. But he's got to move this fast, I would think.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think there's anything else left there.
Yeah, that was a good fight. I would expect them to pass on this third attempt.
I would think so. I would think so. I can't see him squeezing another 2.5 out there.
What is the world record for total? Do we have that around? I'm just wondering if he's anywhere in the ballpark of that.
.730. So
Okay.
yeah, he's some distance off.
Yeah, okay.
So third round of bench already. This is moving so quickly, and we have David White coming out for 120.
Oh, very nice. It's pretty close to a max effort, but it looked great.
That's a great bench there for Dave White, and he's holding Malcolm Long off at arm's length. Be a little bit of banter going on in the back there. I know they're sharing the platform.
I love it. I love it.
And next out we have Piotr Radishevsky. Now he just couldn't get this moving last time. This is 120.
It's only a 5 kilo jump from the opener, but just didn't want to go.
You have the graphic on screen with there's a lot of information on there. If you look down the right hand side, you can see that 185 was the squat, the 115 is his best bench so far. But really, powerlifting is a numbers game. So if you want the live score sheet, go to goodlift.info and you can find it there. No, that's not quite going.
Gonna be there.
Leaves him with the best of 115. Gonzalo Nunes next for 125. I have his PB listed as 110, so we are well ahead of that now.
Amazing.
I'd love a 15 kilo PB on bench.
Seriously.
That would be excellent.
I haven't put 15 kilos on my bench in the last 5 years, I don't think.
Newbie games.
Yeah, that's lovely. Ride the wave while it's there, right? Go, finish.
Oh, it's sticking.
Oh, wow, what a fight.
I think that's the biggest grinder I've seen on bench so far. Oh.
Missed a command. I'm not sure which one. He came up pointing at his ear like saying he didn't hear it, but
yeah, I'm not sure.
There
was no other technical. That's a shame. That was a moral victory.
It was you will rarely see a bench press moving slower than that gets finished. That's a great fight.
So now we have Corey Grandy. He looked like he just didn't have the strength for 127.5 first time out, and then made short work of it on his second. So he's looking for 130 now. Yeah, swings
Wow.
back over his shoulder and presses it out, no problem at all.
Sorry, that is no lift.
Ah, right, we have yellow cards from side refs, so is this butt lift?
Yeah.
Yeah, there
Oh,
it goes. Even on the descent, he wasn't touching the
Yeah.
bench. Your butt must stay in contact with the bench throughout. That's a shame, because he moved the weight really well.
Yeah, after missing the opener and coming back, and he still moved 130 nicely, but
So here's Malcolm Long. He is guaranteed the bench press bronze now. And this will be a small PB. He looks more fired up than previously.
he's ready to go. 315 pounds. It's really 314, but a good fight. I think it's there.
Yeah, I think he didn't do himself any favours with the direction he set off in. But that's a good lift nonetheless. And a bronze medal for Malcolm Long.
And some bragging rights against his British teammate there. Got him by 22.5 on the bench press.
Body's loaded, 147.5 kilos.
So that's a medal each for the Brits now. They'll be locking horns for the rest. Here's Michael Harron for 147.5. He is locked in for the bench silver to go with his squat gold.
Yeah, out of position there
Yep.
off his chest, just a little too far away from his face.
No lift, no lift.
Gives me best bench of 142.5. And second place overall going into deadlift. But he's going to have to work hard to catch Garcia, who is out next for 172.5. I'm surprised he's coming out, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
Unless he feels like he made a mistake on the 170, which is why it was so hard.
It was a lot of work.
5 kilos. Andre Garcia, Brazil.
It doesn't really seem like he needs the 2.5 kilos. He's got a big lead on prognosis, but
May have a national record or some other personal goals in mind.
sure. We are competitive people as lifters, and so we always have goals in the back of our head. Yeah, not there today.
But still, he takes the bench gold to go with his squat silver. And he is, as you say, very well placed now going into the rest of the competition.
Yeah,
He is
almost
the
30
man
kilo
to be.
lead.
Yep. So we take a short 10-minute break now, and the party will start when we get back and the bar hits the floor. Join us then. Welcome back to the IPF World Classic and Equipped Masters Powerlifting Championships. We've had thrills and spills already here today, and we have more action for you coming straight up. This is the M1 men, M1 Classic men, and we have 59s and 66s in this flight, and we'll follow that up with the 74s straight afterwards.
The old saying in powerlifting goes, the meat don't start till the bar hits the floor, and we
the
got
bar
deadlifts.
has hit the floor. So here is where we are. We have Martin Smith. We've seen him a lot representing Australia for Special Olympics in the past. He's joined us for the Masters Worlds for the first time this year. And here he is with 90 kilos. 2 to 1, good lift. He had one red light for lockout. I wonder if it looked like his left shoulder might not have been as far back as it might be. Now here we have a story. Eric Oishi, he absolutely smoked his opening squat, and then unfortunately he had, we're not quite sure what it is. We think it's something like a groin strain, an adductor injury. So he didn't take any more squats, still took the silver. We heard he was going to hospital, and the next thing we knew he's out benching. And he does not look into being good shape, so it'll be interesting to see. He's usually a sumo puller, but if it is an adductor injury, is he going to switch to conventional?
Drop the opener by about 45
kilos.
He's
going to pull conventional. That is a wise move. Yeah, as you say, his opener came down by a long way.
you can't help but cheer for him at this point. See what he can do.
He has the absolute heart of a champion to keep coming out. You could see how much pain he was in on bench, but he didn't want to go to the hospital. He wanted to finish his competition. What a fighter.
Almost like a stiff-legged deadlift there. You can tell that even bending the knees to get to the bottom position of a conventional deadlift is painful.
So he was assessed out the back, but we think it's an adductor injury, but obviously until he gets some proper treatment, that's a supposition on our part, really. So here's Serge Gauthier from Canada for 185. He's in the 59 kilo class.
Had the 20 kilo lead on subtotal, but will be fighting it out with the Japanese lifter here at the end of deadlifts, it looks like.
But he's on the board. He has a total, which is I was about to say it's your first job, but it isn't really, is it? Your first job's to weigh in.
It's true,
Your second job's to get a squat in. So.
Well, the way air travel has been recently, the first job was maybe just to make it
here.
to the venue on time.
True. So here's Masaya Morimoni from Japan for 195. Took the bronze in squat, took the silver in bench. Unfortunate technical error on his bench there, otherwise he would have taken the gold. But we can all say that, can't we? If only I hadn't made a mistake, I would have done better.
Very interesting, unique stance here. So it's like a very, very close stance sumo.
But with toes.
Ballet toes here. Yeah.
Now that doesn't look fully locked.
I would worry about the lockout there. So with that stance, it would seem like lockout's going to be a challenge. It didn't look super locked out, but three white legs.
This might be. Actually, from the side view, you can see that his legs are locked.
That's fine, yeah. Interesting. Very unique deadlift position there.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anyone with their toes that wide.
Yeah, and that narrow stance, you would normally see toes pretty straight ahead. So yeah,
I did see someone yesterday, one of the lighter women, with their heels together, toes pointed out, which was quite unusual.
Yeah, I think I've seen that before.
So here's Anthony Echeverry from France for 195. He's in the 66s. Very long-limbed lifter. That bar's going to have to travel a fair way. Sumo does shorten the range of motion somewhat, but really not by that much.
Yeah, I think it's really more about leverages than it is about range of motion. A lot of people focus in on the range of motion piece of sumo, and I think
not a huge difference, really.
Probably some advantage there, but I think it's not going to make or break anything. But some lifters just have much better leverages in the sumo stance than the conventional.
Next out, Wataru Shimiyashiki, Japan. Looking for 200 to open his account.
We will definitely see more lifters in the lower weight classes, the smaller bodies, that will be favoring the sumo stance. And you'll see more of the conventional at the topper end of the weight classes. But you'll see both in both sides.
All the way through, yeah. So it's a good lift for Shimiyashiki. And we have Wayu Tan next for the same weight. Wayu's in the 66s. A relatively good day. He's 5 for 6 right now.
200 kilos, 440 pounds. And this is a wide stance sumo. His toes are almost out to the plates there, so the opposite of the Japanese lifter.
It's the style you would more usually see than
more typical.
Yeah. Very efficient pull.
Yeah. Smooth, quick.
Tan is on the board. Next out, Masashi Ono, Japan for 200.
Again, though, typically with the sumo, you won't see a lifter really grind a lift out. It either sort of snaps up. Once it comes off the floor, it moves nicely, or it just doesn't go at all. There's less grinding than in conventional.
There's always exceptions. Biological
Sure.
systems are vastly
Complex.
varied. Yeah.
Yeah.
But in general, yeah, that's correct. You can grind out a conventional, but sumo either goes or doesn't. So here is Masashi Ono. 200 kilos on the bar.
Another very long limb lifter for a 66.
He's been a very technical, proficient lifter as well.
Sure
He's
has,
got
yeah.
all his lifts in, lifted well within himself.
If we had judging criteria that was artistic in nature, he would get high marks.
He would.
Everything looks great.
I'd love that extra marks, a little panel with
Yeah,
putting up 9, 8.
right.
Yeah, that would be great. No, it wouldn't actually. I wouldn't get anything.
I would get nothing, yeah.
So here we have, next out is Israel Torres from Mexico for 220. And he struggled a bit on squat, didn't have the best day, but he got the gold medal on bench. So that's going to have settled him a little. Yeah, he looks much more comfortable now.
Got a big smile. Ready to go. 484 pounds. Another close stance sumo, not as close as the Japanese lifter, not as toed out, but
Yeah, nice opening pull. Oh, it's great to see him back on form.
yeah, he's having a good time now.
Yeah.
That was a little bit of a little wonky in my mind. It didn't move as smooth as I would like to see on an opener, but again,
Sure.
not knowing the lifter, it's hard to say whether that's really an issue or not. 222.5 now going on the bar.
This is for JS Leon from Canada for 222.5, as you say, just shy of 500 pounds. JS is the man in the lead in the 66s. Giving himself a fair bit of encouragement as he approaches the platform. So with that pull, JS cements his lead. He is challengeable. I mean, it's going to be difficult to catch, but he's not absolutely guaranteed yet. So he's going to want to keep putting kilos on the bar, keep getting his lifts in. He's not out of the woods yet, but he is pretty well placed for first place.
Yeah, you would think he's going to have to miss a lift or two to lose this thing. If the Mexican lifter can make all 3 deadlifts and
But as
and
you say, it's
JS
his to
misses.
lose, really.
Yeah, I think so.
And second round already, and here's Martin Smith waiting to come out for 97.5. I think our placings in the 66, in the 59s are fairly well ordered already. I think Martin is looking at deadlift bronze and an overall bronze. This is really close to his PB of 100. And that's a tough one, but he's got it.
I think the lockout was good there. Got 1 red light last time. 3 whites this time.
3 white lights. And he's
fired up.
delighted.
All right, I'm looking forward to his 3rd deadlift.
I imagine he'll come out roaring for it.
I think so.
Yeah.
He's going to have a little party on the platform there. I like it.
Serge Gautier now for 195. 10 kilo increase on his opener.
Looks like he's got a 5 kilo lead on total right now in the 59 class. So again, needs to make lifts. Got to protect that lead. No baby powder on the thighs.
That's interesting, actually. Even an empty bar sticks on my legs without talc. Didn't seem to give him any difficulty though.
Nope. Nice smooth second. Looking comfortable. Again, kind of protecting the lead. Just got to make lifts.
Sure, but Shimiyashiki's gone up to 215, and that will match Gautier on total. I thought we had our order set here, but it looks like we've got a tight fight for the first place.
We're gonna.
Yeah, I'd forgotten the Shimiyashiki opened 15 kilos heavier, didn't he?
Yeah, much better, much more proficient deadlift there. So you know, you have the lifter that's the subtotal athlete, where they have the good bench in the squat, and then the lifter that's the deadlifter, and they get to sort of see the cards on the table before they play their hand.
Well, that's what gives the deadlifter the power.
Yeah.
Because they can watch the other lifter go out and just pick the number they need.
Right. As a subtotal athlete myself, I hate it. It always freaks me out that you get to come from behind. Here's our injured lifter, added 15 kilos here.
So this is a sumo puller, switched to conventional to try to protect his injury. I can't believe the heart of the man.
Look at that, he's hanging in there. He's hanging
and
around.
That moves him back up to overall third.
And it looked as comfortable to me as the opener did.
It did, yeah. So maybe adrenaline's kicked in and it's kind of masking the pain a little bit.
Got a shot here, got a shot.
So he's moved up onto the podium place, but Murray Mooney will get the chance to respond. However, Murray Mooney overreached on his second attempt on bench, and he's taken a big jump on deadlift too. So this could really play into Oishi's hands. In the meantime, we have Anthony Echeverry from France for 205.
Trying to finish up his meet so he can get his skateboards out. The weather's been beautiful here in St. John, so I think it's nice skateboard weather. I don't skateboard myself.
It might be nice skateboard weather, but the hills are like 45 degrees. So you'd pick up some speed and end up in the water.
Let's go, make it fast. A little bobble at the top. Let's see what the judges say. Okay, 2-1. Good lift.
2-1 is good enough.
The weight looked fine. I think he's got some kilos left in the tank. There was that little bobble, but I don't think it really had anything to do with the weight on the bar.
So here comes Masaya Morimune from Japan. He's taken a 12.5 kilo increase to 207. This will move him back past Oishi, but we have seen him overreach a little bit on his lifts, so I'm interested to see how this moves. Maybe he's not taking fully into account quite the impact that travel and other factors have had. Has that unusual style.
64. Oh. Oh no.
I think he hasn't altered his attempts based on how it's going today. Because we saw him fail his second bench and then come back and actually he only failed on technicality the third time. So
it's very hard to do that on deadlift, though.
It is. It's the end of the day.
The end of the day,
You've
and
given so much.
Missing a deadlift takes so much out of you.
Yeah.
So it'll be very interesting to see if he can get that on the third attempt.
So we could see, for Eric Oishi to finish on the podium.
Man. What a story that would be.
Wow. Anyway, we have Wayu Tan from USA for 210 now.
Yeah, to go from getting carted off of the platform to finishing on the podium is a pretty spectacular thing that's could happen here.
That was a quick pull. I was looking right at it and I hardly registered it. It just moved so fast.
Yeah, it moved nice and fast. Once he got set up and got all the slack out of the system, it moved nicely. Comfortable lockout. So it looks like they took a 10-kilo jump. They might have another 7.5 or 10 in the tank there, I think. We'll see what they go for on the third.
Masashi Ono, Japan, for 210. You see the standings on your screen at the moment. So if you look how close the totals are at the minute, 512.5 for Morimuni, 515 for Oishi. It's hard not to root for the Brazilian lifter given the day he's had. I mean, obviously we want all lifters to do well, but he has he's really shown some grit and determination today.
Made a fan out of me for sure. Hard to be impartial when you're watching something like that play out. Again, our artistic artist here, Ono, has made everything look gorgeous all day long. The trend continues.
A little bit wavy on the way up, but certainly never in any doubt. He is 8 for 8. Can he make it 9 for 9?
9 for 9 is something that lifters chase for their often for much of their career. It's a big milestone, and to do it on an international stage, it's pretty spectacular.
I had Helsingborg. I was 9 for 9. PBs in every lift. I was very happy.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
I mean, in the end, it doesn't matter where you place when you have a result like that. You can't help but be proud.
Yeah, for sure.
Wataru Shimiyashiki now in the 59s. This is a 15-kilo increase. Where will it put him? He's leading the way in deadlift. He's second in total. This will get him... This will match him actually to Gautier, but he's heavier on body weight.
But again, he's the heavier deadlifter, the bigger deadlift, so he'll get to pull last and figure out what his competition does. So they're tied going into third deadlift attempts. He'll get to watch Gautier's third and know what the number is he has to hit to win.
Everything comes down to the third deadlift, which is how it should be in powerlifting.
Right. Got a great battle playing out there.
But Gautier does have an advantage. Even though Shimiyashiki is the bigger deadlifter, Gautier is in front right now.
Yep.
So Shimiyashiki has to make another lift to come past. And I think it's important on second attempts to be in the lead, to force your opponent to get past you.
Third deadlift is never a guarantee, so it's nice to have the lead.
Israel Torres is looking relaxed. He is looking in charge now.
He looked a little scared in squats, to be honest. A little out of sorts, but he looks like he's having fun now.
I think he's signaling the strength gods.
I like it.
227.5 on the bar.
500 pounds.
And I think he's got it, but I think it might be on the limit.
Yeah, that looks good. I think there's 5 kilos left there.
I think that lockout looks tough to me.
Yeah.
But you could be right, another 5 there. But I'm loving his energy. It's fantastic.
I know. He's in the game now. He's playing and having fun.
So here is J.S. Reum from Canada to move past. He's in the lead overall, but this will also put him in the lead for deadlift gold. 230 on the bar. He was pointing at the bar as if he was telling it, "You're going. I'm gonna get you."
You're getting ripped off the floor here shortly. This may well lock up the competition for him here. Put it out of
That
reach.
was lovely.
Look good. 3 white lights. I don't know if he can be caught now at this point. It's a 565 total.
I agree. I think realistically, he's the new M1 66 kilo world champion. Technically, it's not his yet, but I think it would take something really exceptional to come past.
Yeah, it looks like Torres would have to change to let's see, 12
Everything.
and a half.
All of it. All the kilos.
240 kilos. Add another 7.5 from what they've already planned to
I
load.
don't think he has that. And that's with Raoum looking like he has comfortably.
Something left, yeah.
So, this is the pointy end of the competition. We have Martin Smith.
Third deadlifts.
Waiting to come out to match his own best at 100 kilos.
Lifting tomorrow, I'm thinking if I can get anywhere close to my personal best on the international stage, I'll be proud of that. So, good for him.
His second did look tough, but he's having a pose down on the platform before he comes out, just to intimidate the weight.
Tell the bar who's the boss.
Oh, what a gutsy
I think
pull.
it's good.
That's a phenomenal deadlift from Martin Smith.
Look at him.
He is delighted.
If you're not having fun, what the heck are you out here for? There's not much prestige in this sport. There's certainly no money, so you better be having fun, and Martin certainly is.
But that's a really good point. Sometimes with the pressure of the environment, the pressure we put on ourselves, you sometimes forget to enjoy it.
Right.
Serge Gautier, Canada now for 202.5. Now he's going to need every kilo. This is 7.5 kilos up from his opener. He's had a really stern talking to from Garrett Bentley, who's been sending out most of the Canadian team this week.
Okay, he's in the battle here, trying to win the 59s. Been in the lead all day.
Yep.
And you, as the subtotal person, you just got to go out there and make lifts, right? And make that deadlifter come catch you.
So it slowed down a little bit because between each lift, now we've been to the third round of deadlifts, we clean the bar, gives every lifter the best chance they can possibly have of keeping grip.
Again, no baby powder or talc on the
Also,
thighs.
he presumably has chalked his hands and he was just resting his hands on his legs.
Uh-oh.
No.
Not there today. Okay, he left the
So
door open.
He's gonna have a tense few minutes now, sitting out the back. He's in the lead, but
he's gonna be gold or silver.
Yeah. He took the squat gold. He took the bench gold. He's definitely not got the deadlift gold, but the real prize is the world title. So here's Masaya Morimuni. Now, he surprised us on bench, failed his second and then came back and pressed it successfully. Was a technical fail. But
This didn't look very close on the second, so
it looked heavy.
hopefully he surprises us again.
So with absolute respect to Masaya Morimuni, it's hard not to root for the Brazilian lifter today, who suffered an injury on squat and he's limped back onto the platform to continue his competition. But here's Masaya Morimuni. He's going to give it everything he can for his final lift on the platform.
Trying to get back in front of the Brazilian.
Overall bronze on the line. Of course, Oishi gets to respond.
Oh.
It's moving.
Oh.
It's so close, just not quite there. In hindsight, 205 might have been the choice, but it's easy to pick the lifts after the event.
Yeah, for sure.
So Morimuni, he took the squat bronze, he took the bench silver, and he is off the podium for the rest. Finishes with a 512.5 kilo total and 4th place.
And that means the Brazilian lifter has secured the bronze with the injury on squats.
What a story. I mean, he's put a
Remarkable.
235 attempt in there. I think that is just a placeholder.
Yeah, well, it would be very surprising to see him come out and attempt to lift that.
You get 2 changes on your final deadlift. Get some so you can move strategically. So here is Masashi Ono. 8 for 8. I'd love to see it 9 for 9.
Yeah, let's do 9 for 9 at international stage. Well, the Japanese coach is peeking around to try to get a good view of the 9 for 9 attempt here. Oh, so technically proficient.
Absolutely lovely.
Beautiful lift again.
And that gives him a total of 487.5. He's sitting in 5th place overall, but he currently has his hands on the deadlift bronze, with
Sweet.
a few lifters still to pull.
You'd like to see him take home a medal with such a beautiful day and a 9 for 9
I think
performance.
so. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
But here is Wyu Tan, looking to spoil a dream for Ono and fulfill his own. 215's going on the bar. That will move him into bronze medal position on deadlift.
I'm surprised we haven't seen a change yet from the Brazilian lifter to decrease that 235 next attempt. I wouldn't think they would want to go much over this 215 that's getting loaded on the bar now.
I wonder if he's coming out at all.
I mean, I don't know. He doesn't need to.
No.
He's secured the bronze for total, so it would only be for some sort of pride and bragging rights.
Also, if he's going to pull conventional, I don't think he's got that, and I can't see him switching to sumo at this stage. But we have Wyu Tan right now for 215, an attempt to get his hands on the deadlift bronze.
For the moment, anyway.
For the moment, the French lifter is going to try to take that off him, but first he has to pull this.
5 kilo jump here from 2nd to 3rd attempts. Bill Helmick from Powerlifting America there yelling at him. Again, a very efficient pull.
Yeah, I think that's a really well judged third. So that takes the bronze from Ono for now. He's got a couple of minutes to wait to see if he keeps that. But here comes Wataru Shimuyashiki. This is for the world title.
Oh, wow.
He took the silver in squat, the silver in bench. He is guaranteed the deadlift gold, but the real prize is the world title.
The way the second moved, you would expect that this would move nicely. It's only a 2.5 kilo jump. It's all he needs to win, but
with Gautier
it's
missing
still
his,
a pull to win, right?
Yeah.
Bars loaded. Shimuyashiki 217.5 pulling for the world championship title.
Here he comes. Can he move up to the top step of the podium?
Yeah.
Oh, a good fight. Oh,
Now I'm
not
waiting
sure.
for the referee's decision.
Oh,
Now I expect to see the coach go to the jury because it was a blue card and a
I
red
don't
card.
see a coach going over there. I don't know why.
No, I would definitely have given it a go. Especially
Yes.
if it's 2 different votes, 2 different failures.
It was
I
2
would,
cards,
I
yeah.
would definitely have challenged that. So that's nope. There's no approach to jury table. So that makes Gautier of Canada the 59 kilo M1
Wow.
world champion. Shimuyashiki takes the silver, and Martin Smith of Australia takes the bronze. So we've got a few more lifts now to decide the placings in the 66 kilo class. And then we'll move through to the 74s.
So the real battle here looks like between
Yeah,
the
it's the
Mexican
second and
lifter.
third, isn't it?
Yeah.
217.5 kilos.
They're sitting on.
France. Original deadlift
Oh,
bronze.
see, he put it. Yeah. I don't expect we'll see the Brazilian lifter come out.
I don't think so. I mean, I'll be blown away if he does.
But if that's the case, then this is really likely to win the bronze, right, for the French lifter in the deadlift?
Yeah, so this is Anthony Echeverry from France for 217.5. This is a big ask. He opened 195, went to 205. This is 217.5 in an attempt for the deadlift bronze. In fact, if he gets this, I think it's his.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, look at that. It's close. It's close. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I can't believe he
I
locked
can't
that
believe
out.
he got there. I think it's a good lift. Oh!
Wow! 2-1. He will be absolutely delighted.
Oh my
by
goodness.
That is superb.
I would have put the chances of that being a made lift very low. What a spectacular performance. Rising to the occasion.
So unless Eric Ogier can pull something incredible out of the bag, the French lifter goes home with the deadlift bronze.
Wow.
So 3 lifts, 2 or 3 lifts remain. Have a look at Israel Torres there. He is having the time of his life.
He is having a good time. It's
He
really
knows-
awesome to see that. He seemed a little shell shocked at the start of the meet.
He didn't seem to know where he was. He struggled on squat. It wasn't going his way. Had a good day on bench, took the gold, and now he is just living his best life on the platform.
Looks like he's pretty much secured the silver medal for overall,
Yep.
and trying to lock up the silver for. Well, he's already got the silver for deadlift as well, right? Yeah.
Yeah, barring
Unless
like we
Oishi
said,
comes
we
out,
we
yeah.
have an attempt in from Oishi that seems like a bit of a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
But here's Israel Torres from Mexico for 232.5 kilos, 2.5 kilo personal best.
Calling in the strength gods, bringing him down. Yank that thing off the floor.
It's not gonna go.
Oh, he's so close.
Oh, his
Not
grip's
quite
going.
there today.
Wow,
Gave it a heck of a battle.
that was the closest thing I've ever seen. We've got an attempt change.
Unfortunately, no lift. We do obviously now have an attempt change.
Okay, so JS has now changed to 235.
Oishi at the same weight already has deadlift gold.
So what does this mean for? So Torres took the deadlift silver and the overall silver.
What he's really looking for is to move
JS is guaranteed the World Championship title now,
the best lift that ever was, and he was
and barring a miracle from Oishi, the deadlift gold too.
What was his what attempt did he have submitted before? Did you see what it was? What it was dropped
Oishi,
to? No, Reum.
I think it went up. It went up. He had 232.
232 to
yeah.
235. Okay, gotcha.
So this may be a national record, personal goal.
Yeah.
No, it's the wrong class. I thought for a second it was a total world record, but that's in the 59s. So here we go, J.S. Reum from Canada for 235.
Oh, it looks good. Ah.
Oh, grip.
Yeah.
But you know what? He's going to have to be happy with a chest full of medals and being world champion.
Right. If
Not a
he can't
bad
be
day's
happy,
work,
if he can't be happy with that, I don't know what's going to get
In
you.
front of his home nation crowd too.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
If he gets this,
I did not think he was going to come out, but
He's coming out.
He's over there. He's coming out. He's going to take a
Oh
shot.
my word, Eric
This
Oishi.
is ridiculous.
I just can't
He's
fathom.
trying to take away the silver. This is
Oishi that I have ever seen.
This is for the deadlift gold and the overall silver, which will push the Mexican lifter down to bronze. I can't
We were literally
believe-
told he was headed to the hospital after being carried off the platform during squats. And now here he is taking a 40-kilo jump to his third attempt. The crowd's fired up in the room here.
He's asking for the support. He's absolutely
him.
got it. We're on our feet in the commentary booth. This is something really special.
This is one of the
Win or
primo
lose,
moments
just
of this
walking
meet.
out for this is
Yeah.
incredible. He's not even a conventional puller. And it's not moving, but honestly,
What a champion. What a champion.
he has
Wow.
the heart of a lion.
Amazing.
What a lifter. Superb. So that means he finished bronze overall. Yep. Which in itself is just incredible. But to
Quite
be able
a
to
feat.
come out and attempt that was absolutely
We could see him
phenomenal.
wincing every time he got
Yeah.
down on the bench and back up. He was really uncomfortable.
Powerlifters, eh?
Yeah.
Carry him off
wow.
after one lift and they're like, no, send the ambulance away. I'm going out to bench.
I'm going. I got to go get on the medal stand.
Okay, so we are straight into the second flight, which is 74 kilo men. It's quite a short one, so this will run through quite quickly. Gonzalo Nunez Borja is out first from Peru for 180.
Looks like Garcia has the big lead on prognosis in this class, but there may well be a battle kind of playing out between the two British lifters for the bronze position overall. And we obviously have to sort out the deadlift medals as well. (180 kilos, 396 pounds).
A little bit untidy, but the strength was there.
The white lights, you're going to the Lunet, the 180 kilos, next weight on the bar is 205. The Kyoto Ranishevsky, Canada. Randy and White, get ready.
Oh, I got to catch my breath after that amazing performance from the Brazilian. That was fun. Glad I got to see that.
Next out is Piotr Radishevsky from Canada for 205.
Bars loaded, 205 kilos, Kyoto Ranishevsky, Canada.
(205 kilos, 451 pounds). Not super easy, but solid. Never in doubt. 3 white lights.
And he's on the board.
205 on the bar now, Corey Grandy, Canada. White and Haran, get ready.
Next out, Corey Grandy, Canada. I'm going to wait until we're through the first round of deadlifts before we look at how the rankings are playing out.
Bars loaded, 205 kilos, Corey Grandy, Canada.
He's a 10-year veteran of the game.
How long have you been lifting, Joe?
That'll be 10 years next year.
10 years?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And yourself?
My first meet was actually in 1996.
Really?
But I took about 10
break,
years
yeah.
off, from competition.
So that looked to me, that was difficult off the floor, which is not typical of conventional deadlifts, but once he got it moving, it was all the way to lockout. That was a good lift there for Radishevsky.
Where are we going next? 220.
But yeah, I'm thinking this might be my last one.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. At least
Oh,
take
wow.
a break. Take a break.
Yeah.
That's the way to look at it, isn't it? Might be a long one.
Yeah. I've had some breaks the last, 5 years or so where I've gone a whole year without competition.
I think I need to next year. Picking up too many nickels. But here's David White for 220. He's, as you say, he's battling with his teammate Malcolm Long. Now that's quite a wide stance conventional, isn't it? It's almost snatch grip.
Yeah, it's a unique setup he has there. His feet are pretty wide for conventional as well. And he's got the bar quite a ways away from his shins.
If I was his coach, I would definitely ask him to at least try
Yeah.
a bit of a narrower stance.
Narrower stance, narrower grip, and try to get the bar a little closer to the shins at the start position.
But not being familiar with his training history, there may be very good reasons why he's pulling like that.
For sure.
And it was a great lift, and he's on the board. So Mike Haran is out next for 227.5.
Bars loaded, 227.5 kilos, Michael Haran, USA.
We also don't want to make any kind of changes when we're here at competition.
No, absolutely.
We talk about technical changes when you're a long ways away from competition.
And it's misunderstood about competition day coaching. You're not coaching someone
No.
to have a different technique. You're just trying to get them the best numbers on the day. Here's Mike Haran.
Solid opener there. 500 pounds on the bar.
3 white lights and a good lift for Haran, 240 on the bar now. Malcolm Long, Great Britain.
Yeah, it's a little bit stiff leg, not a huge amount of quad involvement in there. Clearly works well for him though, the bar moved very quickly. And we have Malcolm Long. Didn't have the biggest squat, took the bronze medal in bench. I think he's team push-pull.
Yeah.
Do we have that? Is that a thing?
You know, it seems like it's one of the smaller teams out there, but
I think it
it's a
is,
thing.
yeah. Quite often the big benchers aren't the biggest deadlifters.
It's pretty rare, yeah. Usually, you know, the long arms, long legs benefits you in the deadlift, and it certainly does not in the bench press. So it takes quite a unique individual to be good at those two.
Just waiting for the bar to be cleaned for Malcolm Long.
The chalk that the lifters put on their hands sort of builds up in the
Yeah.
grooves of the bar, and then it gets slippery. So
It seems counterintuitive that too much chalk would make it slippery, but if
Yeah.
you've got no knurling left because it's packed with chalk,
filled
then
it up, yeah.
you can't grip. Malcolm's best is 252.5, opening at 240.
But this is to. Wow, that looked great.
That was
even
fast.
though it was that close to his. But it puts him into the third position
He
by
looked
2.5
very
kilos.
happy leaving the platform there.
Yeah, so he's going to pick his deadlift attempts based on placing here and try to kind of play the checkers, the strategic game. But that looked great.
Here's the man in the lead. Out next, Andre Garcia from Brazil, opening with 250. His listed PB is 280.
Really filling up a nice day here. It's going to have a sore neck tomorrow after putting a lot of metal on it at the end of this day, it looks like.
40 years old. He's just this year moved into the Masters.
Okay.
You do sometimes see that with his dominant performances.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a youngster just pushing up into class.
Right, early in your decade, and then kind of maybe fade away. I'm 43 this year, so I'm kind of thinking that I might have a bit of a break and then try to make a push when I turn 50 again.
That's quite a break.
Yeah, I don't think I'll stop competing, but I don't know that I'm going to be pushing the same that I have been lately.
So Andre Garcia, silver medal in squat, gold medal in bench. This will put him out in the lead, both in the overall and deadlift. Very nice.
Looked very comfortable all day. Everything's looked smooth, and that continues the trend there. Very efficient sumo puller here.
So now that everyone has a deadlift on the board, we can take a quick look at how this is playing out. In the deadlift race, Garcia is leading from Long from Haran, and in the overall it's reversed. Garcia from Haran from Long. Long and White are... I think Malcolm Long's pulled out a bit of a lead there on his compatriot. So
yeah, 12.5 kilos.
Dave White's going to have work to do to catch him. But in the meantime, we have Gonzalo Nunes from Peru for 195.
The jumps here, though, between deadlift attempts are on the order of 10 kilos plus or minus, and so a 12-kilo lead is really
one missed lift.
missed lift. So once we get through the seconds, we might see things kind of solidified.
He's not sure. It was. I think it was harder than he expected it to be.
It's a little uncomfortable. It looks like. Yeah. But it's 3 white lights.
Yeah, it's a good lift nonetheless. And we have Piotr Radziszewski looking to come out next. He's taken 7.5 kilo increase. His opener looks solid.
12.5 kilos, Piotr Radziszewski, Canada.
Got all his squats in, struggled a bit on bench. See how he feels on deadlift. And that's a tough one.
Yeah, more of a fight than you'd like to see on a second deadlift attempt, but it's good.
He's going to be wondering what he's got left for his third now.
Yeah. Sometimes you see lifters get a little extra boost of emotion and energy from the crowd and kind of do something that doesn't seem like it's possible, but we'll see what they end up picking for a third attempt for him.
Corey Grandy next from Canada for 215.
Also a 10 kilo increase from the opener.
Followed it, 215 kilos, Corey Grandy, Canada.
Again, a tough break from the floor.
Yeah,
But
interesting.
then it just moves really quickly.
It looked great once it broke the floor, yeah.
So I couldn't even begin to call what he's got left because that's a really unusual style.
It is. It's very atypical to see a conventional puller struggle off the floor like that and then pull it fast from there. Okay, we're going back up over 500 pounds here.
So this is David White. He is looking to move past Haran for the deadlift bronze. 230 on the bar.
Followed it, 230 kilos, David White, Great Britain.
It seemed comfortable enough.
Yeah, moved nicely. So that he's only 2.5 kilos out of third place at this point. It looks like he's got something left in the tank. We'll kind of see how that plays
definitely.
out.
I'd say there's another 7 there.
Yeah, he's gonna. I definitely think he's gonna need a miss from long.
Yeah, this is Malcolm will look really happy leaving the platform after his first, but he needs this second to stay ahead. But we
Yeah.
have Michael Haran first. He's looking to take that bronze medal position back from White, the deadlift bronze. It's important to make the distinction between the single lift medal and the overall. Haran is currently in second place and unlikely to be caught, especially now.
Yeah, that locks it up, I think.
Yeah.
Good looking pull there.
Green, white lights, good lift.
Very comfortable.
Next one on the bar is 250 kilos for Malcolm Long, Great Britain.
I think they could load 5 or 7.5 more and probably be okay. And there's really nothing on the line at this point. He's got the second position locked up for the overall. I guess there may be sorting out medals for deadlift still, but depending on what happens here.
Malcolm Long looking very relaxed.
Look at him over there. It's his world. We're just paying rent.
250 on the bar. His stated PB is 252.5.
He's looking very superhero-esque over there.
Followed it, 250 kilos, Long, Great
Here comes
Britain.
Malcolm Long, 250. His 240 was super fast.
Yeah, I would expect this to look nice as well. 550 pounds on the bar.
Wow.
Efficient pull, big chest at the top. Looks
I think
nice.
he's just going to pull whatever he needs at the end.
Yeah, yeah. It looks like he's probably now secured the bronze overall. I don't really think that he can be caught at this point, but
I would agree. I mean, crazy things do happen.
they do. We just saw a lifter get carried off and then come back and get a medal later on.
So here's Andre Garcia, the man in the lead. Not happy with just taking the overall gold. He wants a deadlift gold as well.
Yeah, and taking 265 here, which if it moves nicely, we might see a 600-pound attempt on his third, which is would seem like, you know, a pretty nice number for a 74-kilo lifter.
Following it, 265 kilos, Andre Garcia, Brazil.
Here he comes. His opener was a very efficient pull. A little bit slow.
Yeah, never in doubt, but it was work. 3 white lights there, so I would say, you know, there's probably 5 kilos left there, but he's got everything secured at this point, so he could sit on the last attempt and still win the gold in deadlift and overall.
So here we go. This is the pointy end of the competition now. Here's where we hand out the world titles and the rest of the medals. And we have Gonzalo Nunez waiting to come out for 200 kilos.
Garcia just put in 285 for a third attempt, a 20-kilo jump. I don't know if that's something he's actually going to come out for, if we'll see a change, but maybe there's some significance of that for him personally, whether it's a national record or just a lifetime goal.
Here it comes, 200 on the bar for the man from Peru.
I think he's done it.
I think he has. 3 for 3 in deadlift.
Excellent. Yeah.
Gives him a 420 total and 7th place. Next out, Piotr Radishevsky, Canada. Got up 5, that's probably about right.
We're getting the third attempt, brush the bar down between each attempt. And now we're ready.
217.5 kilos, Radishevsky, Canada.
Oh, not there today.
No, not there today. Leaves him with the best deadlift at 212.5. 512.5 kilo total. 6th place.
Corey Grundy, Canada. White and Moran, get ready.
$227.5 kilos for Grandy. That's 501 pounds.
There we go, Curry Grande. This is quite a big increase.
Yeah, they took 10 from the first to the second and now 12. So they must have liked the way the second moved. This doesn't change any placings for him.
He didn't manage to get that very far, but it leaves him with the best of 2:15. 537.5 kilo total, 5th place.
Might have come with a personal goal of lifting that 227.5, and with nothing on the line, they decided to just take it. Bar weight stays the same here for White from Great Britain. Oh, I'm sorry. The bar weight goes to 237.5 for White.
David White. He's had a look at what he'd need to do to get past his teammate, and it's not within range, so he is running his own race now. Guaranteed the 4th place at his first World Championships. That's it's not a bad day's work.
Yeah, that's super. I think it looks like a good lift.
Yeah, I think that was the right number.
Sets it down very gingerly, taking care of it.
We have a change, so I'm just waiting to see what that is. You can change your attempt twice. So Haran is now challenging Malcolm Long. Haran is the lighter lifter. 2 lifters lift the same weight. The lighter on body weight takes the win. But if 2 lifters select the same weight, it's the lower lot number that goes first. Haran has the lighter body weight, but the lower lot number, so he has to go before Michael Long if he's taking the same weight.
And they've already settled out. It looks like there's no, the placing for overall isn't in doubt. So
yeah, we're done for overall. I think Garcia is the new world champion. Haran in 2nd, Long in 3rd. But this is for deadlift gold. A deadlift medal's great to have though.
Yeah, right. Might as well take a shot at it.
Bars loaded, 255 kilos, Michael Haran, USA. Shots at deadlift silver.
Trying to pull into that silver medal position for deadlift.
And it's, just a little bit too much. Leaves him with the best deadlift of 240. Yeah, and we're settled now. I think that is the bronze in deadlift for him and the overall silver.
Now assured of deadlift silver and overall bronze.
So here comes Malcolm Long. This is a great result for him. Overall 3rd, deadlift silver. And he's looking to, look at him standing there, ready to go.
Trying to get that nice round number of a 600 kilo total.
This is a 2.5 kilo PB as well.
Oh, for total or deadlift?
For deadlift.
Oh, excellent. Again, setting a PB, breaking your own personal record at an international competition is a pretty special thing. I don't think he's nervous at all.
He's super relaxed.
He is ready to go.
There we go, that is a personal best for Malcolm Long. 2-1 is good enough.
Little bobble at the top, but just one red light, and it's a good lift.
The rule book does say if the bar dips slightly as the shoulders go back, that is not a fail. And 1 pull remains. Andre Garcia, the new 74 kilo M1 world champion, is looking to add another 20 kilos to his total and to his deadlift with 285.
Again, nothing on the line here, so maybe this number is
5
something.
kilo PB.
Oh, yeah, for deadlift.
Yeah.
What about total?
Not quite for total.
Okay. So maybe he's trying to get a record and trying to get a PB.
Could well be.
Record back in his home country. I would have a hard time betting one way or the other on this lift. The 265 didn't look easy, but he's a very efficient puller.
He is. I think this is a step too far, personally.
I would probably bet that way, but I wouldn't count him out here.
Absolutely not. He needs to get this absolutely perfectly right, hit it hard, and just keep pulling.
The double overhand hook grip. It's broken the floor. Oh, not there today.
Not quite, but you know what? He didn't need it. He won the deadlift gold, and he's the new 74 kilo world champion. That's been a fantastic session. It's been great having you join me in the commentary booth, Tim. And we have the medal ceremony coming up very soon. I hope you'll stick around for that. And we are only just getting started today. We have at 12:30 the women's M1 47-52. In fact, it's the 47s all the way up to the 63s. And then later tonight, the M1 83s and 93s. So loads of action yet to come today. I hope you'll join us for that.
Right here. Okay, everyone give the athletes a big hand. And handing out the medals today will be Gaston Farage, president of the IPF, and Blaine Bowmaster of the RCMP, Sergeant Blaine Bowmaster. And we'll start. We'll start with the individual awards for each athlete. Starting with the M1 squats for 59 kilo Master 1. In third place with 80 kilos, Martin Smith. In second place with 172.5 kilo squat, Wataru Shimoyasukike. And in first place from Canada with 182.5 kilos, Serge Gaucher, gold medal. Thank you, gentlemen. Now in the bench press, with 60 kilos from Australia, Martin Smith, third place. And in second place with 105 from Japan, Wataru Shimoyasiki. And again with the gold medal in the bench press from Canada, Serge Gaucher. Thank you, gentlemen. Now in the deadlift. In third place from Australia, again, Martin Smith. Third place with a 100 kilo deadlift. And in second place from Canada with 195 kilos, Serge Gaucher. And in first place, 215 kilos from Japan, Wataru Shimoyasaki. Thank you. And now for the overall. With a 240 kilo total from Australia, Martin Smith, bronze medal. And in second place, only by body weight, from Japan with a 492.5 kilo total, Wataru Shimoyasaki. And your World Masters 1 champion from Canada with a 492.5 kilo total, Serge Gaucher. Can everybody stand for the Canadian National Anthem? Next in the 66 kilo Masters 1 class. In third place from Japan, 197.5 kilos, Masaya Morimune. Sorry about that. In third place from Japan in the 66 kilo Masters 1, Masaya Morimune. In second place from Brazil, Eric Oshie, 205 kilos. And in first place from Canada, 215 kilos squat, Jean-Sébastien Réaume. Thank you. In the 66 Masters 1 bench press, third place, 120 kilos, Jean-Sébastien Réaume. From Japan, also with 120, Masaya Morimune. And your gold medal winner from Mexico, 132.5 kilos, Israel Torres. Thank you. Now in the deadlift, from France with 217.5 kilos, Anthony Echeverry. The silver medal from Mexico, Israel Torres. And the gold medal goes to Jean-Sébastien Réaume of Canada, 230 kilos. Thank you, gentlemen. And for the overall, with a 515 kilo total in the bronze medal position from Brazil, Eric Oshie. And with the silver medal, 552.5 kilos from Mexico, Israel Torres. And your 66 Masters 1 World Champion from Canada, Jean-Sébastien Réaume, with a 565 kilo total. Please, everyone stand for Canadian National Anthem. Now in the 74 kilo Masters 1 squat, in third place, David White of Great Britain, 232.5 kilos. With the silver medal from Brazil, 242.5 kilos, Andre Garcia. And in first place with the gold medal from the USA with a 242.5 kilo squat, Michael Horan. Thank you. Now in the bench press, with 142.5 kilos from Great Britain, Malcolm Long, bronze medal. Also 142.5 kilo from the USA, Michael Horan. And with a massive bench of 170 kilos from Brazil, Andre Garcia. Thank you. Now in the deadlift, with 240 kilos from the USA, Michael Horan, bronze medal. In second place, from Great Britain with 255 kilos, Malcolm Long. And with the gold medal in deadlift from Brazil, Andre Garcia, 265 kilos. Thank you. And the overall, from Great Britain with a 600 kilo total, Malcolm Long, bronze medal overall. And in second place from USA with 625 kilos, Michael Horan. And your gold medal world champion from Brazil with a 677.5 kilo total, Andre Garcia. Please rise for the Brazilian national anthem. Thank you. A big round of applause for all our athletes as they exit the stage.
Just about on time.
So I guess no more changes. 1 2 1 2 check 1 2 1 2 check. That's okay. So no more changes to openers. So let's very quickly introduce the officials. Okay, officials, can you line up in front of the platform, please, to be introduced? Thank you. Okay, so referees first. In the center seat from Canada, Susan Haywood. Side referees from Great Britain, Joanne Frost. And from the USA, taking her Category 2 exam, Tamara Lopez. On the jury, from Sweden, Lars Goran Emanuelsson. From Great Britain, Mick Ellender. And from US Virgin Islands, Susan Elwin. Your technical controller, from Morocco, Jamal Hamid. Ladies and gentlemen, your places, please. The first weight on the bar is going to be 50 kilos for Katja Ronkainen. She will be followed by Barry, Gravino, Treimer, Feltrauter, Rose, Buitrago, Romans, Drakford, and Pence.